the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon. Skibidi dabado. Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment. Go to there.
Riding the South Bend, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon.
Today is the second day of July 2024, the second day of a brand new month, and it is also the second day of the work week as well here in Liberia. Thankfully, today we didn't have so much rain as we've been receiving, as we've been having a lot of rain, heavy rain, that has been causing flooding all across the country. The argument has always been Liberia's flooding scenario in our cases. Are they man-made or the natural disasters as we do see in other parts where rivers will burst their banks due to heavy downpour of rain? Or our case is different and we created the necessary elements, for this to happen to us. Whatever the case is, there must be a holistic look at what is happening and how can we as a country make sure we implement the laws, the necessary laws in protecting the lives of our people as well. A pleasant night to you wherever it is you watching us from. Those of you watching us via Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and via YouTube, we love to say welcome to you. And to all my folks listening to us all across Liberia, love to say a pleasant night to you. I would usually tell Mr. Dwalu good afternoon, but I'm so used to having him right next to me. So, Mr. Dwalu,
Yeah, my man.
that's what you.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, I've sorted that out.
Yeah, man, my people, you're welcome. It's Liberia. A lot of things happening on the ground. We're here to talk about it. It's the only way we can find ways to fix them. So at the end of the day, we talk about it. Hopefully, the very people that are causing harm to this country can realize that they got to change their behavior so we can change course and hopefully go towards the right direction. Donna.
Dr. Richardson, afternoon to you, ma'am. You get a good afternoon, and Mr. Dwalu will get a good night for me. We're together. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Hello, Liberians. It's good to be here again today. Diamond, as you're speaking about the weather, I always enjoy looking at the weather report on my phone for Liberia because I'm just fascinating that technology can do us that favor. So right now it's telling me that it's 79 degrees in Monrovia and mostly cloudy. The rest of the week it is going to be very cloudy. There's a 50% chance of rain tomorrow and a 75% chance of rain as well later on in the day. Um, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is going to be very cloudy.
Okay. So people, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not bad. So, but we're expecting the rain. All across the country, everybody know the rain. That really easy. You know, but the rain is a horrible time here in Liberia. We don't have the
Mhm.
infrastructure for it, but that's it. Dr. Francine, welcome. Let me welcome some of these people, man, Damo.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
will still go with you. I see Angeline Smith. Madam Smith, how are you doing? Jay Williams. Ho Yu Fan. James K. Cole. Willem Morris, how you doing, Madam? I see over here Nancy F. Say. Monica B. Cole, how you doing, Monica? Over here, Charles M. Darling. Welcome to the show. Lawrence Butler. Mr. Butler, how you doing? Eman Sibo. Mr. Sibo, welcome to the show. Patricia's Mamulu. How are you doing? Yande Gulawo, how are you? Matthew Green. Mr. Green, how are you doing? I see Jackson Moore Tumoy. How are you doing, sir? Seidu Aminata Diallo. How are you doing, Seidu? What's going on, my bro? I see Daniel Moba. Mr. Moba, welcome to the show. Look, everybody, man, from across the globe, welcome to the show. Damo, while we're still waiting, the guy, Dr. Francine's here. I just want a little 1 minute to talk about what's happening in Kenya and how does that relate to our country, just very briefly. There is something, this is just Kenya, it's literally across the globe with this transformation. The Gen Z, I believe they're called, or the millennials, and people, let's say, literally most of them under the age of 40, they are awakening to their space in their country, recognizing that they have to change the condition in their home country. Because almost literally every country across the globe now, they don't want other people in the country anymore. This xenophobic spirit, especially across Europe, across America, people saying, listen, go back to your country. A lot of people across Africa are recognizing that they have to fix their own home country. And I want to applaud the young people in Kenya demanding from their government the direction they want their country to go. And I'm going to ask this question to you, young Liberians here tonight. What are you doing in this country, especially the Gen Zs or the Gen Y, they call millennials? Well, what are you doing to reshape the direction of this country? Are you even fighting a little bit to have a definition for this country? The Gen Z, the digital generation, you're seeing how the globe looks like. You're seeing everything that's happening in every other country. You're seeing the conditions of their society. You're seeing how young people are living, but yet and still we are complacent here in this country. Gen Z, Gen Y, millennials. What are you doing? I'm not asking you to go protest. I'm asking you to demand more from your government so you can get a better society, so you can inherit a better Liberia. Nothing changes. Look, from time immemorial, go back to the Romans, to the Greeks, to the Egyptians, to the Ghana Empire, to anywhere else you can think about. The only time change came to that society was when people demanded that change. Here in Liberia, we demand no change. We want for nothing. We don't even try anything. We sit, alibi, and expect something to change. The Kenyans are saying no to this. The Nigerians are saying no. The Burkinabes are saying no to this. They're changing the conditions of their country right here next door in Guinea. They're transforming their country. I'm not asking for military coup, but I'm asking for a revolution in evolution, the revolution in the way we think in this country, so the resources can go to the right places, so young people can have a purpose in this country. Most of the young men and women have no direction, no hope. How are you going to get hope? You have to demand it. Look, somebody wrote a letter to a young Liberian in the country a few years ago, and I just want to read an excerpt from that letter that was written to young Liberians. If you have time, you can Google the whole letter and read it for yourself. It's called A Message to the Legatees of Liberia. And I'll just read the first two paragraphs before I close this thing up to young Liberian. And I want you to listen to me very carefully. That way, am I still on the street? Yes, I am.
Yeah,
It
you are.
says,
Yeah.
and the letter reads, it's called A Message to the Legatees of Liberia. And I want you to Google this for yourselves and read the entirety of the letter. But I want to read the first two paragraphs. It says, it is my greatest honor to be able to write to you with the satisfaction and foresight that you will someday realize, if not now, that you will be regarded in the highest esteem. Your youth is a full representation of what is good in us. It gives us hope and inspiration we intend to leverage to birth the Liberian Renaissance for the transformation of our homeland. Raise yourselves, future generations. We have work to do. It is only you who can ensure that that work is completed in the direction that removes this self-imposed shame and disgrace of backwardness that has plagued our country for some 200 years. Immortality calls. Which one of you will answer? You live in an age of great endeavors, and your generation is presented with the greatest opportunity to drastically alter the direction of our homeland. Your stance in this moment will define the future you inherit. This period calls on you to think differently, to be forceful on good governance issues, to read relentlessly and expand your curiosity. Do not be fearful of failure. You must tirelessly push to up your standard of living and achieve what seems like an impossible dream. A country rescued from the depths of despair and hopelessness and transformed into a nation that is self reliant, guided by institutions, and truly independent. I want you guys to listen to me, young people across this country. Google the letter and read the entirety of the letter. It's a brilliant letter. I want you to check it out. It was written a few years ago. And I want you to understand this. Liberia can be redirected if you deem it necessary. Millennials, Gen Zs, and Gen Ys, I want you to listen very carefully. Look, I'm a Gen X generation. Those are all born from 1977 all the way up with the Gen X. I think Gen Y starts from 19, if I'm not mistaken, I think it goes from 1980 or 1987 all the way up. But you can look it up. Anybody can look this up. You have work to do. The Kenyans are transforming their society because there will be no chance to go to another man's country now. Nobody wants us there anymore. They want you to fix your own country. And if we expect our current government officials to truly fix this country, we are in total denial. Here's the reason why they cannot fix this country. 90% of them does not have the wherewithal. They don't have the capacity to truly transform the country. They don't know how, even if they wanted to. Secondly, they don't want you to understand that you have a place in this country and you have an opportunity to demand from them according to our Constitution. And if the Constitution is not benefiting us the way we want it, we have an obligation and a duty, a God given duty, to change that Constitution. Young people, you have work to do. Gen X, Gen Z, and Gen Y millennials across the globe, your counterparts are transforming their country like you see in Kenya today. What are we doing here in Liberia? Dr. Francine, welcome to the show.
Hello, Tualu. Very great advice to our young people, our Gen Z, the next generation. We definitely need to do something that their counterparts are doing around the world. They're standing up for their rights. And when you speak about that, Dwalu, I think about how I'm now transitioning from my regular job to being a panelist on the show. I'm transitioning, and interestingly, one of the things that I do in my practice is, in order to become an American citizen, you need to know the civic and history of this country. And many of our immigrants are unable to pass
Correct.
this test. Therefore, they can maintain their green card, but they are not allowed to become American citizen. And some of the difficulties and challenges they have is, what is the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of uh, assemble, the right to assemble. You know, what are the ideals of a self government? What are the three words in the Constitution of, in our country, what that mimics the Constitution of the United States, that requires self government? We the people, we the people, and our a lot of immigrants, not necessarily Liberian immigrants, a lot of immigrants have challenges with
Yeah.
these ideals of democracy because we're not accustomed to it. We're
Correct.
not used to those kind of things. No one, and of course, the kind of abstract thinking that is involved, and also, sometimes we've been so traumatized. That's why they come to see me, because when what we don't realize, the impact of trauma allows you to not be able to concentrate. It allows you to not be able to have anxiety all the time. It allows you to have self doubt about yourself. So it allows you to have performance anxiety. Like you will do well
Yeah.
when I'm casually talking to you, Dwalu, or Diamond. But when I have to perform, like I have to take a test, I will feel flat. Okay, that sometimes is the impact of trauma. So a lot of these people that come and see me to get the citizenship test, they pass, they failed the test a couple of times already, and then of course they have to come. They send them to a medical doctor or either a psychologist to find out why is it that you are not doing well on the test. And then I have to do a whole trauma battery, like for example, do a trauma assessment. I have a trauma symptom checklist. I have to ask them. I have to do a clinical interview, and then I have to sort of tell them there's difficulty retrieving, recalling, and learning, or performance anxiety. This person would take a long time for them to just learn how to understand what we the people means. I mean, when something is not in your lexicon or even in your memory, it's hard for you to be able. How do you understand your own rights if you never practice it in Liberia, and then you come across the Atlantic Ocean? How do you know that you are the people? We the people are supposed to be governing ourselves and to be able to make sure that our government work. Because a lot of times our people, no matter what part of the world that you come to, are not accustomed to that form of democracy. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to add that to what you're just talking
No, no,
about.
it's really important, Doc. And this is something, and this is, look, in the last time when I was here, I spoke about when young people come to America, some of the difficulties to face. When we talk about the structural society, we're not saying it because because when you go anywhere else, you have to live structurally. This is not optional for society to work. There are guidelines. The
Mhm.
basic guidelines must be met by people. This is why, look, somebody just said, and this person is absolutely right. I think it's Syria. Hopefully, I said your name right. He said, "How you expect the young people to transform Liberia when they are being denied the proper intellectual development across the country?" Salient point, and I
True.
agree. And this is why the last time Dr. Francine, myself, and Nelson was here, we spoke about the way the schooling is done in this country. We are denying them hope. And Mr. Krumah, the paper to young Liberians is called "A Message to the Legacies of Liberia." Google the paper, you check it out. It was a letter reading to them so they can read it and try to think and change the way they think. But at the end of the day, we got work to do. Look, Dr. Francine, the last time I was talking about, Dama wasn't here. And when we take resources, we make college free, it is not using the resources to the optimum capacity. Look, primary education, if we put the money there, it's better than we put the money in university. When you get to the university level, you can be able to do what you got to do. But when you done here, we're not optimizing or we're not maximizing the output of the resources we have. If we put the money towards university instead of primary education, that's what we're
Mhm.
feeling. We have a point.
I've been listening keenly to you and Dr. Richardson talk about people being woke. Another word again used.
Yes, that's it. That's the word to get used. Got to be woke. That's our African American term here.
But this is a video that should, make our people to be woke or to be woken.
Yeah.
Refuse, you mean the House of Representatives refuse to get you car? And about to be what this morning? You might get what?
The government refused to give us our benefits.
You mean the government refused?
Yes, the
So
government.
that's second to mean it. This is another number. Another number. Why can get this morning? What happened to your car?
Not to the Liberian people.
Okay.
That President Walker is in error. You won't get certain lawmaker at the lower house misbehaving on the lawmaker.
Is that why you riding again?
Of course. Because President Walker get a plate, he now get a vehicle.
So they
the past 3 months, how we going to go to our constituents?
Wow.
All the senators receiving a benefit.
So you call back.
I know we can't go back. When we go to the game, get one card around. Power lesson play them one card to use it. And then new card, that what we order bar from our own
Calling
party.
the attention.
We have vehicles.
Yeah.
The executive have refused to give us vehicles. We have to do our work. We have to work for the.
Disgusting.
Look,
Disgusting.
it's insulting, really. It's insulting. Look, you also maybe after the deliver this momo. Let me tell you something. Some of these yard
I don't need to laugh at it when you give me saying that to you. That'd be too funny. Go ahead.
no, some of these yard boys ordinarily cannot afford a bicycle, and they expect a government with a $700 million budget, literally a chicken feed, to be buying them $45,000 vehicle. They're paying you almost, even at $5,000 they're paying you. Why you can buy a bit and go away? That we don't want to be buying your car and buying your gas and giving you scratch car and paying for your 15 girlfriend for what? Look, Gen Zs. Somebody say, I think it was Samuel Brown. Thank you, Mr. Brown. The older generation never, ever power concedes nothing if it is not demanded. If you, the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys of this country and the Gen S generation, if you don't demand from the government what you want, they're not going to change it because it benefits them. They are not going to change it. It's the same thing the legislature are doing. So now they're saying they're riding keke. Well, you look and say you get keke. Do better than walking. You keke. You're doing well. You're doing very well in keke. They're supposed to buy a car. Look, a little one. No representative in this country will make more than $3,000 a month. That's inclusive of every single thing. Everything in that $3,000 is way too much. But I understand this and that. You're not supposed to be the Aries Snow came on the show. This gutter, this slum ball will say, but I'm money not even enough. $15,000 too small for me. They must give me more money. Doctors in America sometimes don't even make $15,000. Lawyers in America, in Luxembourg, in Singapore, they don't make that kind of money. People who make that kind of money are private citizens that go to the private business. They invent the new water bottle. They invent the new cell phone case. What in the minute I invent? Won't be giving it everything. Sanaman Swami. That thing take it all.
They're coming for him.
I just want to say something to
Go ahead.
the dramatic occurrence at the Capitol today. Lawmakers riding keke in an attempt to say, oh, we don't have cars. But those plates were given to you. What were they placed on? That's the first thing. What did you people remove those plates from on before you screw them on a keke? The 45,000 allotment you want for car, is it that the government is going to procure the vehicle for you, or you going to procure it for yourself as an individual? Who owns the car after the 3 years? Like the way we see justices and ministers and the rest will turn their vehicles over, and if there is a depreciation rate, they can buy the vehicle for themselves. Where are the previous vehicles that were owned by lawmakers or were being used by lawmakers purchased from the Liberian people money? Let these questions be answered. But people say, oh, I want just benefit. Like, I don't want lawmaker. How do we go to our constituents? Many of you, they get your 4x4 car. I don't even go to your constituents until it's time for election. If you go to your constituents, you will start in an accessible area and people will meet you there. So let these questions be answered. Do you walk away with the vehicle after 3 years and you turn it into your own and you give it to one chief of office staff or somebody else? What is the ownership plan? And what's the procurement method? You take 45,000 to go buy a car, you buy $30,000 car, where the $15,000 can go? No uniformity. You go to African country, the parliamentarians are using one set of cars, standardized vehicles. And even at that, if it's given to them, they return it if they're out of office. Furniture and all representative will take it from your office when you go in. Senator will take the furniture and carry it. They are riding Kege today too. Anyway, Kege get tapolin on his side. Ring on a bill.
They may not walking say, you better lay down floor, then you talking about you won't fall.
Diamond, I had an opportunity to go back to listen to Senator Dillon's tape when he was first elected. Okay, I believe 2019, he made a press conference, had a press conference. In the press conference, he told us that they were making $15,000 a month. And that's why he was in the Senate to put light on the issues that were occurring in the Senate. He said the basic salary was $15,000 in US dollar and $2,900 and $29,700 in Liberian dollar. Okay. And then I went back and started to think, first of all, I'm not hearing him talk about this $45,000, which is worrying me. All right. Because I expected him to expose these issues. I think I sent the clip to CEO and also to you. I will send it to you so we can play. We can listen to what he had to say. But these people are not asking for $45,000 car. Listen, Diamond, I had a contract with the state of Pennsylvania before, and they assigned a car to me. But you know what? It was for me to go and see my clients. I parked my car at the office, took that car, saw the client, came back, parked the car, got in my own personal car, and went my way. And every step I went, every time I want to go see the client, I had to mark down where and when I was for their record and for my record. Okay? So that was not my own personal car. So I don't understand this whole issue about $45,000 for these people to have cars and stuff like that. They are public servants. Dwalu is right. When you want money, you go into the private. You're not there for your.
What about that? Which is the internet? Oh, that's me. That one.
I know.
Yes,
I
sir.
internet,
What about that? Which is the internet?
Yeah, can you hear
I
me?
wasn't watching. Well,
Yeah,
I think she got a buffering for a minute.
And I hear. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dwalu, how you doing, Dwalu? Dwalu, how are you?
I can't complain, yo.
Dwalu, how you doing, Dwalu? How you doing?
I'm too crazy. Now, President, when you mention Pennsylvania, I end up Googling the GDP. 789 billion. Now the budget I won't look up right now. They just get you for the you say and you carry back. But
I carry back.
When they get one high school on budget, the high school budget they won't buy them $45,000 car inside. They say the Ryan can get. Let me just be walking in the city, walking on the ring. What are you doing that house somewhere? Say no one the show.
No, but thank you very much. I'm kind of concerned. I saw you running a video. And but Damo, when you running going, when they pick on the show, he be running going. I saw that you're doing the back that Dwaru. I will catch you and Damo. I saw that you're doing the back. But ladies and gentlemen, I came on the show 28 minutes into the program. I'm here. I ain't going anywhere. 28. Listen, I don't want to take away the show. Okay, Dr. Richardson, I know you're having a big birthday party to your house on Saturday, inviting everybody. Dwaru is not here, so he can't come there. But Dwaru, today I'm surprised. Even my sister and my mom asking.
It went for Rob today too.
No. But Dr. Richardson, wait. Even my sister and my mom asking when Dwaru coming back to America. I was surprised. My mom said, but Dwaru will not come back now. I said, but you know Dwaru? Dwaru, the people know whether you're coming back or whether you're done with America. We got to ask you the question today. I was surprised. I went to my mom, ladies and gentlemen. My mom said, but when Dwaru coming back to America? And I said, well, you know Dwaru? Dwaru, when you coming back?
Tell the Omar at home. I'll be back in a few days. But no. I gotta go to Norway now. I'll be back. I'll be back out there. you know.
So you coming back?
Eh?
So you come back?
No, maybe next week that I'll be back. But I gotta run to Europe quick and I'll come back. Yeah, I come back.
Listen, 2 people from my asked for today. I can't call the other person name because that emergency will be mad when I call that person name. I don't know what my mom will ask for that person. But for Duado, she said, "Boy, that boy go stay now." I said, "Who boy?" Then she said, "That boy, Duado. When you coming back?" I said, "Well, man, I know. I'm gonna call the man wife and ask the man where." I said, "I know when the man coming back." She said, "Boy, she said, boy, his wife in like bro with him." I said, "Oh man, you won't put me in trouble now."
So my birthday coming up, so I'm supposed to be over there, you know.
Oh, the old man are watching you. They say you must come back. Somebody said, "Duado, your wife said Duado is on a mission." Okay, Duado is on a mission. We know we know what's going on with Duado, but folks, share the program. We're gonna have a wonderful show.
My visa expired. Apply, so I'm trying.
We got that your visa will be expired. Go to the American embassy to get a new visa. Yeah, right. Who will Bala Khalid? The Liberian visa or the American visa?
No, American visa. How get Liberian visa? I get Liberian passport.
Oh, so you've been in America for 32 years on American visa?
Yeah, green card. But what happened when the green card expired? Because when you say also, you do not like
Oh, so you went in the military with green card? Don't be like Cummings, oh. Cummings will fly to Ghana or Liberia passport from Ghana. You check out the American passport. Don't be like Cummings. I'm begging you. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to announce that Cummings is having a special fundraising dinner, August. Cummings is coming back.
Yeah, he should.
We got a lot to discuss, but Cummings is coming back. What's the flyer, Damo? Can you put the flyer up, please? Damo, please.
I can get it in a minute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Cummings is coming back. Cummings say he's coming back. He having one of the biggest fundraising dinner in Pennsylvania. Dr. Richardson and Abraham, Dr. Richardson husband, will be there because Dr. Richardson name is on the list. As if October will be there.
Everything. Let's see, I can't talk too much because I have noise going in the background. They're cleaning outside of my house, so yeah. But you know everything.
But you get a chance, we'll get the announcement today. You don't want us to get the announcement. I'm happy to see Mr. Cummings. As Mr. Cummings get ready to come back, Mr. Cummings said this time around, at least he will go back to the 7%, but not the 1.6%. Well, that means saying that I can't put my flyer up. Ladies and gentlemen, we said this before. Cummings, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, the ANC/CPP political leader, if there is a CPP again, right? The political leader that Dr. Richardson and all her family supported. Oh, Dr. Richardson ran away. We want to announce to you that he said that Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Mr. Cummings is coming back. Now, the first thing Mr. Cummings doing on here tonight, he said he is coming back, but the first show will be in America. I know the rest of the guys coming. I want us to talk about it a little bit, Duado. The first thing, yes, the flyer. I'm not kidding. One party, one nation, and one goal. But which nation? Liberia, and you're having a program in America, that is one nation. But no, we're talking about it though. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Cummings' first comeback, August 9th through the 11th, 2024. The days in Springfield, 650 Baltimore Park, Springfield, Pennsylvania, 19064. I am not making up story, folks. You know me. I hate to make up story. Everything I ever said to you is true. Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, the ANC political leader, the CPP political leader, the Half a Liberty Stability Party political leader. He said, I'll be back. They're going to raise a lot of money. You know, in all of Mr. Cummings' ANC program, he used to raise, he's one of the person, the standard bearer that raised a lot of money. They are charging, let's go to how much they're charging for ticket. $50 general admission. General admission being on Saturday evening, $50 you got to pay. You can come from anywhere. You pay $50. Payment method is Zelle. I'm doing free publicity for ANC. I really want to see Mr. Cummings coming back. I'm doing a free publicity for them. I don't want to call their name, but I'm doing it for Mr. Cummings. I really want for Mr. Cummings to come back, Duadu. I am happy that Mr. Cummings said he's coming back. But here's the issue. Is it a comeback to set back? Is it a comeback to kick back? Is it a comeback to stay back? That comeback thing getting too much in our country. CDC said they come back. Mr. Cummings said, yo, that didn't be are coming back too. They come back to set back is in full swing. So to every one of you, I know you're going to say, oh, Senator, but Mr. Cummings' first comeback is in America. His first comeback, Barbara White, is in America. I want to hear from you, Mr. Duadu. A supporter of Mr. Cummings up close to October 2023, you flipped and supported Joseph Yima Bwaka. I want to hear from you, Mr. Duadu. Mr. Cummings is the comeback cake year, 2029. He's coming back. Yes, a flyer. I didn't do this flyer. It wasn't me. 2024 ANC Global Convention is right there. The Global Convention. They say he's coming back. He's agreed to run 2029. He will be running 2029. He asking for your $50 general admission. Now, patronage, executive, you're talking about $200-300. Mr. Cummings is about to raise one of the biggest amount ever in the ANC history. Imagine we say in 2024, we got 5 more years to go. 5 years, 6 months, few days. Mr. Cummings is coming back. What say you, Mr. Duadu? We got a lot to discuss today, but I want to hear from my brother Duadu. Duadu. What say you, Mr. Cummings is coming back?
Stand up.
I'll be back.
Follow that before Facebook hold. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. And that's Mr. Cummings. He said, I'll be back. Check call the small one, guys. So don't call the whole thing. I want Facebook to hold on with a copyright. Check that small line. I'll be back. Just do it quick. Let's do it again.
I'll be back.
That's it. Mr. Cummings said he will be back. Duadu, let's hear from you. Mr. Cummings is coming back.
Stand up. Let's be serious. This is about Liberia. Anybody who believes and has the conviction that Mr. Cummings does have and believes he can transform this country should never, ever give up on the fight for the soul of this country. If Mr. Cummings is coming back, kudos to him, and I want him to be more tenacious and fight for his country. And I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Can you increase your volume, Duadu? You kind of low there, please.
Yeah, I said Mr. Cummings, anybody who believes in that conviction, as Mr. Cummings seemed to do, and believes that he can transform this country, nothing should stop him from continuously fighting. And I believe Mr. Cummings, if he continues to fight, if he believes that he can make a great president to transform this country, I don't want him to ever stop. Let him fight until he realizes his dream. There's nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that.
Listen, I agree with you, Mr. Cummings. I love Mr. Cummings. But let's go to the Cummings that has supported every month. Dr. Richardson, Abraham Richardson, Mr. and Mistress Richardson, Mr. and Dr. Richardson. The amount of money other ANC members were collecting, contributing. Mr. Cummings just said, I'll be back. Dr. Richardson, are you welcoming the comeback of Mr. Cummings?
Yes, like Duadu said. I'm sorry, guys. I have this noise in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but
we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to just thank you for the free publicity. Please make sure that you
no problem.
for the duration of time here until the
No problem.
occurs.
But let's talk about Mr. coming back. Are you in support?
You interrupted me now. It will be very helpful, very helpful for you to support ANC in that manner. Secondly, I'm so happy that Mr. Cummings takes advantage of the financial strength of the people in the diaspora. Like you said, many people give money, many people will attend. That's one of his strongest hold. So that's good. That's very good. I wish that other public officials could emulate what Mr. Cummings is doing in the diaspora, making the gap smaller between the people in Liberia and the people in America. So yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to share this show. We got a lot of information coming to you. Our first key back segment is Mr. Cummings coming back. The next one, we'll talk about what Duarude was talking about here on the show, the lawmakers driving Keke and Pempen. We're going to have Gregory Coleman, the police IG, coming to discuss national issue. We're going to have Winfred Russell coming to talk about the path to Congress. We'll discuss that. And I got a breaking news for you. Another company Grace Bay is bringing, called Crino. And everything that company said they want to do, I will background check. That company is a dead company, something that will establish. I want you to sit back, we'll share that information on that company. Something so bad about our company, but this is going down the Liberian throat, and we have to discuss that. And I want to say to everyone, you complain when Joe Ware say I'm coming back, but you celebrating Mr. Cummings come back. I mean, this is Mr. Cummings you refuse to vote for. You refuse to champion, you refuse to support, and you fled to President Bouaka during the campaign. Candidate Bouaka, Senator Barry Bouaka. You turn your back on Mr. Cummings. You said, no, he can't make it. He's not the right man for this time. Duaru, who are you, Duaru? And but now you say it's okay for Cummings to come back, but not Joe Ware. It's okay for Cummings to come back, but you couldn't support him in 2023. You got to talk to us, Mr. Duaru. We want to hear you. What's going on?
Stance on politics is an evolution. I'm going to say that to you. People see things differently at different times. President Ware, anybody who entertains President Ware coming back to the presidency, you're endangering the lives of your children and the future of this country. President Ware should not even be near any kind of community chairman job. This man is a main child, and I'm president material. I don't know how the hell he became president of our country. But let me tell you something, Mr. Cummings, if Mr. Cummings, look, just because you don't support somebody in the first round, it doesn't mean you cannot support them again. Mr. Cummings tried to make a plea, and my argument was very simple. Mr. Cummings could not win in that round. Doesn't matter what he did. I look at the field play. I did my calculations. I did my analysis, and I realized the probability of Mr. Cummings even getting it. I mentioned 5%, and I was being very generous, and he never reached the 5%. But at the end of the day, Mr. Cummings knows he has to fight the fight. Like I said, I admire the man's tenacity. He wants to come back. Let's see him raise it. Let's see what he can do.
So you think this time around, if he coming back, you think he stand a chance? Even if you got President Bouaka, even if you got Joe Ware, even if you got the same players, do you think something had changed or something is changing that Mr. Cummings stand a chance this time around?
Let me say this to you. Mr. Cummings has a brilliant mind. I don't think he's just going to come back the way he came back before. I know he's going to recalibrate. He's going to make new calculations. He knows what he's thinking about. Maybe he sees something differently. And I'm sure Mr. Cummings is going to pay the proper analyst to do the job, to do the analysis. And Mr. Cummings, this is what
was Mr. Cummings' mistake? That took him from 7% to 1%.
Well, Stanton, I don't get paid to do that kind of analysis.
No, you're on Spoon Talk. We pay you. We pay you on Spoon Talk. Tell the people, what was Mr. Cummings' mistake?
Let me say this to you. Mr. Cummings, look, I broke several things down. Let me break it down for you again. Look at the zones of the country. Even the NDP Presidency Party had a massive base that was giving nothing less than 200,000-300,000 people that he was going to get. Honorable Bouaka had a base maybe 500,000 people. President Ware, let's say at the time, maybe when they were ruling, 500,000-600,000 people. So there was something to start with. What was Mr. Cummings starting with? It is not about, Liberians do not vote on capability or the person's potential to deliver to the country. They don't vote in that sphere. And the analysis, I believe, the ANC people were doing, they were not considering that. Look, Liberians don't vote with calculations. Liberians vote on emotion. They vote on tribal leaning. They vote on I just let it ball. They vote on the very superficial issues that's not going to change anything. So as an analyst, you have to make those calculations whether that kind of analysis is favoring a candidate. I'm sure Mr. Cummings is going to make that calculation this time around. Like I said, hopefully he picks the best analyst to give him the best information, and then they can go from there. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Do you think where we are today, evaluation, what we had today, before I go to Dr. Richardson, Mr. Cummings stand a chance?
Well, I will say this. Everybody stands a chance, but let me be realistic here, right? Given the way the government is unfolding, if Honorable Braga continues in this direction, it leaves a window open for a lot of candidates that will come in and convince the Liberian people. And hopefully President Braga changes the direction of his government and realizes that he's here to govern, not to appease. Then hopefully maybe the people will stay with the UP party. But if it continues down the road, Mr. Cummings has a massive window.
Can Mr. Cummings make that case? Dr. Richard, I beg you. The reason why I'm posting on you, Dr. Richardson, because we know you support Mr. Cummings. This is what would I left Mr. Cummings and came over to Dr. Braga. I said, Doctor, yes, indeed. But Mr. Duado, the issue here is that Mr. Cummings, you think he realized something? You think he have accepted the fact that there were mistakes in his campaign? Like every Democrat or Republican here in America will say, change course. They will change campaign manager. They will change agenda. They will go and design a new strategy. Do you think Mr. Cummings is there yet? He changing course. He understands the high and the low.
Look, Stanton, Mr. Cummings is in the very top 1% of brilliant Liberians. I'm not saying this to pander. This man has run organization. So if he's not doing a SWOT analysis to recognize when he made a mistake, then he's not a good manager. So I'm 100% sure he's done this analysis and realized where he's gone. Look, God rest her soul. My Jew Seattle Townsend, and I hate to say this, she would call me. She would say, and so, you know, Mr. Cummings, it's mine. He has a great intention for this country, but sometimes the connection he's making with the people is not jiving. How do we get that connection? This is the question Mr. Cummings has to answer. How does he jive his recalculation with the positioning of the typical Liberian? That's a job he has to do. And once I believe he does that job and makes that connection with the people, he can make that transition to the presidency. I have no doubt.
Let me bring in Dr. Richardson. That's the first thing. I know we're going to drag this thing because we expect to have Winfred Russell on the show, and we'll discuss with Winfred. Then we'll bring in the police IG, Gregory Coleman, and we'll discuss issue of national concern. Then we'll move into our politics. Three things we're doing today. We got a lot of information from the lawmakers, the money they're making, the cash they're buying. We got a lot of information on the bogus company that the rest of the folks bringing on President Waka. We got documentation to support it. And I want to announce also, it will hit you, Duadu, that the Sierra Leonean government requested that Liberia turn over one of the suspects that were bringing drugs in Liberia. He was arrested by A.B. Cromanen, right? He's in the custody of the Liberian government. Sierra Leone government say, you'll send our man back. And the foreign minister have agreed, and the justice minister have agreed to turn him over. We will discuss that as well today. Back to the Cummings issue, Dr. Richard saying, everything on the table, man. You think Cummings is recalculating, and you think the old people would go, new people will come in, and Cummings will revamp this whole ANC to your liking, to the liking of the others that disenchanted right now?
Well, this is the whole idea of politics. You know, I think everybody should be in that state. There's a lot of mishaps that are occurring right now in the broadcast government. There's a lot of missteps. So people who are watching and getting ready for 2029, they should be, revitalizing, revamping, doing things differently, doing a SWOT analysis, as Dwalu said. Just hold on a second. My grandson asked me to get his shoes from here. Hold on.
All right, so Dwalu, let's go with you again. Dwalu, let's go with you. The same question, though. You say yes. You say you expect good of him because he was up there. He's an executive of Coca-Cola, second in command in African region. But let's talk about the real Mr. Cummings and those groups that he brought around him. What was missing, Dwalu? Why Cummings couldn't connect? The list theater will ask you why he couldn't connect.
Yes, the thing. And this was not true, but the CDC boys and the UP angle played to this heavily. There is this thing that they pin on Mr. Cummings about his people being bourgeois, so to speak. They were like, oh, the queer people, that they bold people, and they make it seem like they did not understand the plight of the Liberian people. Yes, Yaman Tree, so much of God rest her soul. But I would say this, look, Mr. Cummings has work to do. The reason why I'm saying this, every time you go in the corporate boardroom, and if we're supposed to sell 3 bottles of water, and we only sold 1 bottle of water, the whole strategy will be revisited. And Mr. Cummings understands this. And if Mr. Cummings does not take a massive ball in his office and try to dissect the country, what happened in Riverside? What happened in Sano? How can we recalibrate in Sano County? How can we reposition? I'm pretty 100% sure Mr. Cummings has done those calculations. And he will pull the best smart people in the room. And some of the things Mr. Cummings has to tackle, if I have an opportunity to give him words in his ear, Mr. Cummings, let's do this. This angle about this operation being quote unquote Congo people place or quote unquote people they don't understand the Liberian people plight. They have to find a way to recalibrate so they can target Liberian people to understand this. So Liberian, I want you to understand this. A leader will not relate to you 100%. Part of my thought here. The reason why he's leading you because he's elevated his life to a level so your mind can develop, so that development can be elevated for the totality of the country. He's not going to play Ludo with you, not because he doesn't relate to you, but because he's thinking at a higher level.
I expect people to understand that. I mean, you cannot take
you, This is when Tina had against Mr. Cummings. How Mr. Cummings cannot play Ludo or play Nampo the Joe.
I don't think that if they say Ludo with I don't think I'm sit every day and play Ludo. I don't think so. They are asking for Mr. Cummings to be humble. They are asking for Mr. Cummings to come to the level in a way that they can grow and see the real Cummings. They are asking for Mr. Cummings, the little thing that Mr. Cummings used to do, right? Every Saturday, I want to go back to Dr. Richardson real quick. He go on the street and he start jogging, right? He start engaging other people, say, come on, let's exercise. But then it was like, okay, if you are this powerful leader, you jogging from 7th Street to 8th Street, 7th Avenue to 8th Avenue, wherever it is. But here we are, you got 5 people jogging with you. That's a problem. You cannot have President Boyka jogging and you got 5 people running behind President Boyka. You will see the whole street black. At the time, you couldn't have, how you call him, George Manor, we are jogging. Then you see 5 people. Dr. Richardson, talk to me. Talk to me, Dr. Richardson.
Well, I mean, I think you're kind of talking about the optics of politics. And yes, optics are important. But you have to keep in mind that Liberia had George Weah, who promised change for hope. He promised the people in Nukutal that he was going to play Ludo with them. But playing Ludo and then eating, meal every day and building homes and mansions, yes, and not meeting the needs and only talking in your mouth that you close to the people and not by in the means of working with the people and making their life a better life for them, or a better school for them, or better health care for them. You see what I'm saying? So the same thing with that we are seeing of President Boyka. Okay, President Boyka. We expected that he was in government for so long. And I, on this show, of course, I was very neutral. I didn't take a side because I knew after being in government for, some people may say 40 years, the kind of mistakes that he's making now is unnecessary and called for. The people that he's putting around him to call the shot is unnecessary and called for and not called for. Okay. And so, anybody right now in Liberia, I think we still have a long way for the next elections. I think anybody can put with them and they can win. They can win. I will not put Mr. Cummings out of the winning category.
So the same thing Dr. Francine is right. Anybody, look, it is not, and I want to make this point. It's not saying Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings go jogging. This is one of the advice I will give Mr. Cummings. This is a society. I think to some extent Mr. Cummings was a little divorced from the local understanding. In Liberia, when you go jogging, you get food to your heart. Liberia is equipped with that. Mr. Cummings, if I was, I said, Mr. Cummings, run on the treadmill in your house. He said, oh, Mr. Cummings, because the people had this mindset that Mr. Cummings was a bourgeois way up there, and they couldn't relate. And how Mr. Cummings is going to bridge that gap? Let me tell you something. What do people know this about? Mr. Cummings was the one candidate in these elections that literally visited if I'm not saying every single district in the country. He went everywhere. He did everything. Why wasn't he connecting? That's a question he has to answer.
Thank you. I want to announce again, Glenn, welcome to the show. I want to announce that the police RG is coming. I don't know what's going on with Winfred Russell. They should be joining us, but we're going to host the police RG first. We're going to talk about the issue of national concern. Maybe Winfred will come later We have sent them the link, but we're going to bring in Gregory Coleman. I want us to finish up with his comments, just where Dr. Richardson left Cummings issue. Dr. Richardson said, well, the people, okay? People, Joe, we are people. People, Bwaka people. People, Cummings people. I want to go back to you, Dwadu, before I bring in Glennie on this one. You think this was one of Mr. Cummings' problem?
Well, Mr.
I think one of the people that when they started going to Congress and fighting for sanction, and this man, Grace Bay, standing by Mr. Cummings and making the case that where we were, it was bad, but where we are going to bring sanction and hold people accountable. But this is the chief of staff to President Bwaka today, Grace Bay. This is the Cummings man that refused to support President Bwaka, but President Bwaka thought it fun to bring him from the ANC because of high school and college relationship. And yet, Grace Bay, first thing on the agenda, go to Social Security and broke the place down and took money from there. But the comment, actually, people can agree with me today that President Bwaka saying for that money. Because President Bwaka refused to put a statement, Grace Bay refused to put a statement. So President Bwaka gave Grace Bay the authorization to go to Social Security and get almost 500,000 United States dollars. The first thing that was broken under the Bwaka administration, that they can come up with a report and tell the Liberian people who authorized Grace Bay to take the poor people money. It is President Bwaka's responsibility to say that to the Liberian people. But yeah, it's Grace Bay and Cummings. You think these people around Cummings was some of the problem that the people turned their back on Cummings, and people are turning their back on Bwaka because of the same Grace Bay behavior? Talk to me. I really got to go. I see the RJ in the back. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm going to keep the picture while you talk to me. It's going to be crazy today. Today is the 2nd of July. This show going to be fiery today. We're leaving nothing back. But talk to me.
Look, it's not about what Grace Bay done. We know they bypassed the rules, the PPCC laws, to make sure that money was taken from NASCO. That was illegal. Honorable Bwaka has to address that. Look, if laws are written and out of expediency, you go against those laws, what's the point of writing laws? Laws are meant to check us. Look, guys, it's not about supporting Mr. Cummings now. We give you analysis of what I think is going to happen. This does not mean a support, a disagree, or get agreed. Let's go to somebody said, "Dwadu eating guna." I know I've been eating pakana for the last 30 years or last 40 years. Now I eating cassava. I'm going on small. But I'll say this, guys. Look, at the end of the day, what they cost Mr. Cummings, I'd love to put the responsibility on the leadership. Whatever happened to Mr. Cummings is Mr. Cummings' fault. He led that operation. It's not Grace Bay, it's not his advisor, it's not Mariah, it's not anybody else. It was his decision. At the end of the day, the buck stopped with him. So whatever he did is up to him. That's how I see it.
And I want to say, we'll come back on the Cummings issue. We're seeing that Gregory Coleman is in the back, the Liberian National Police IG. This is what going around on social media. 2024 ANC Global Convention, one party, one nation, one people, in God we trust. In unity, success is show. But you put everything on the flyer now. You can leave it halfway. And you know, you eat my own, I eat your own. The deal, the call me the man, call me the bomb, call me the bomb. That's the only one that's now on the flyer. So you put it together. Let's not sing it. Call me the bomb, call me the bomb. Then maybe we'll understand why Mr. Cummings bringing the first comeback in America. Why not in Liberia? Why the first comeback should be in America, August 9 through the 11th? What the first comeback for leadership in Liberia? Why in America? We will come back to the story. I want to say to all of you, welcome to the show. Share the show. Invite your brother, invite your sister, invite your family. This is the Spoon Network. We owe nothing to anybody. I told my own. You interrupted me. I told my own. You told your own, and we will move to discuss the Liberia people issue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Gregory Coleman, Liberian National Police IG. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gregory Coleman. It's always good to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the Spoon Network.
Good evening to all, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're good, sir. Welcome to the show. It's always good to have you. Thank you for joining us. I see your location is different. That is to say, you are not in America, you're in a beautiful home. You're in a home that worth almost $1 million. Look at all those pictures and those things in the back. You're the man of the hour. Look at me in my little small kitchen. Look at Dualo in Spoon Studio. Glenn, we don't know where she is today. Dr. Richardson somewhere home in her office. But it's good to have you, IG. Thank you for joining us as we discuss national issue.
Well, Senator, if this is the analysis put behind most of the talk on the network, then we'll question it very seriously. However, I appreciate the fact that I'm sitting in a very nice setting. And you can go back and check my address as to how far it dates back to this particular setting. So thank you. It's an honor.
You're welcome. All right, so folks, Dr. Richardson, Duadu, Glennie, I see that Fadiga is in the back. Let me bring him on. We're going to have a wonderful show, folks. Now, you can share your ideas. And we saw a lot of protests going on today. Student protests, the little boy that got killed. I'm so happy that you're here to address this issue. And we'll talk about what is happening in the Liberia National Police, about some retirement. And we'll give you the chance to talk about it. Folks, we'll not keep the IG too long because we got 3-4 different segments, so 30-minute max. Ask your question, be pointed with your question, and we can get something today on those national issues. Let's talk about the incident that involving the death of a young Liberian, a little boy. Then we will actually want to know, carry on mass protests, people saying that they're going to protest again tomorrow. IG is all yours. Bring us up to speed. Where are you and where are the Liberia National Police on this issue?
Thank you. I wish I was here under different circumstances, but to be discussing the death of a child who we should be providing protection for is a very, very difficult thing for me. It saddens my heart. And I'm here to make absolutely no defense for this action, but to just call it out for what it is. The Liberia National Police responded to a call from a citizen in distress whom was under attack by alleged drug users and peddlers in his area because they believed that he had given information to another law enforcement agency that had previously raided the facility. So in retaliation, they attacked him and the police only came in to quiet the situation. Unfortunately, it went bad. The officer drew his weapon. What we know at this point is that he did fire his assigned firearm and it struck the young man. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead on arrival. Investigation is ongoing. The officer involved shooting protocols have been initiated. The officer has been interdicted and turned over to the Professional Standards Division, and they are proceeding with the investigation. Hopefully by tomorrow, they will conclude. I mean, their conclusion will determine whether it comes for an administrative action or to be forwarded to CSD for further prosecution criminally. So that's where we are with this issue. We've spoken to the family. As I speak to you right now, the full representation of the leadership has been with the family since the occurrence of this tragic event, and they are currently at the residence of the deceased, talking to the family. The mother and the father have expressed their desire for their child to be mourned in a respectful manner and not for people to take the street and cause violence in the name of protesting for the loss of their child. One thing I can promise the general public that this investigation, we will conduct it as swift as we can, not leaving any stones unturned, and bringing to the public, the general public, the facts as the investigation proceeds. There will be absolutely no cover-ups. I wish I could say a little more right now, but if I say anything here now that they have not concluded, it could be preemptive of the investigative outcome. So I would like to leave it at that, and let's give them up to tomorrow to complete the first phase of the investigation, and then wait for the second phase of it. That is it goes to the criminal route.
Thank you very much.
I'm concerned about the fact that we've been calling for continuous training when it comes to the use of firearm. The the use of force continuum is clear that there has to be periodic certification for those carrying the firearms as part of our immediate action. We're withdrawing firearms from everyone who have not met that certification over a period of time until we can go back and have training and certification before some officers will be reissued the firearm if they do qualify to carry the firearm at all. This is a very regretful situation, and we sympathize with the family, we empathize their loss, and we stand by them in the period of bereavement. And I will ask that we all, justice is not a one-day thing. So those who are calling for a civil disturbance tomorrow, I think it will just be quite honorable and respectful to the family, not to use the period of mourning as a moment seized for any political action. I mean, we cannot control how people will think that they want to act in these times, but we would like to remind them that this same law that is guiding this investigation and that this officer involved is subject to is the same very law that protects each and every one of us, and it will prevail under whatever circumstances.
Thank you very much, Police IG. I know we have another one to talk about, but let's ask you a question.
Let's just deal with that as well, and then we can open up to the questions.
No, it's very important for us to take it step by step. I beg you, just consider us, because the name of the officer, you care to inform us? What's his name? What's his rank?
The officer name is in the press release. The officer is the Deputy Chief of Operations for the Zone 8 area. If you check the press release, his name is mentioned in it.
Okay, so my question, what's your, so police, help me understand, help Liberia understand. Let's go back to Kenjo. Kenjo, your men discharged their firearm. You carry on an investigation. Today you get $30 million lawsuit on Kenjo, and they're coming after the government, like what Serena Seaforth get a case. You carry on the investigation and there was no one charged. It's beginning to be scary. Do you have a separate investigative team, an independent investigators that can carry on full independent investigation, or you only relying on your Liberia National Police, your department, to carry on investigation and give us the final ruling on what the findings?
It's quite unfortunate that we find ourselves in a society that bad governance has made its way as a status quo, and all of the reflections of the bad governance has now rested on the police, and there's a serious lack of trust. Notwithstanding the police, I mean, we have different divisions. There are professional people within that entity that uphold the ethics of it. Even during the past administration, call it what you want. There were still people who were extremely professional in some regards in different areas that operated and upheld their ethics. The police, we don't just rely solely on our own investigation. If you did read the outcome of that investigation from the LMP, which was the Professional Standards Division report, it clearly stated that we made a recommendation that this report should be sent to the Civilian Oversight Complaint Review Board, which is at the moment investigating this particular matter as an independent body. Chair of that board is the head of the Bar Association. You have on that board the Independent Human Rights Commission. You have the Federation of Liberian Youth. You have civil society organizations. You have the Liberian Law Enforcement Agency. You have a representative from the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So it is an independent body set up by law to review issues investigated by the police. So that's the level at which that investigation is at the moment. I just saw a communication requesting some investigative support, that is for the officers and for the medical reports and everything. And we were being fully compliant. I just forwarded it to all of the relevant leaders of the LMP so as to furnish the investigation and to ensure that we comply with whatever they need. But I mean, we're not just saying trust us 100%, which is unfortunate that we do not have that level of trust and legitimacy due to the bad governance issue in the country. Because all of these things that police are responding to on a daily basis are all part of the systemic failures. The issue of the massive drug abuse is one of them as well. So, I mean, but we are the one with the broad shoulder. We are the graphic representation of the state's authority. So we take full responsibility. We're the bigger ones. We take the responsibility for everything that has gone wrong, that have now become police problem. One thing I can assure you all in this particular investigation is a common distraction the world over that is used when it comes to these kind of issues that are related to police, is the cause and effect component of it. The cause of this particular issue will not be taken lightly, while we're 100% concerned about the investigation of the effect, which is the shooting of the boy. We're not going to stop, because the drug abuse in our country and the level at which these users and peddlers have become brave to start attacking people in their community is something that we have to deal with. So since it has come to light,
I beg you, because we're men, allow us to chip in. I know you want to finish. I beg you, allow us to chip in. It's kind of confusing for my second question, but I will do that in passing while I go to Dr. Richardson. Mr. Duarte will come in. We're going to bring in Fatika Asido, Dr. Bopler, till we can have Glennie back, and then we'll go to Paul Kennedy. Why? Drugs arrest. Drugs issue. Why the Liberia National Police shooting? Why not the LDEA? Then we'll move to Dr. Richardson's question.
So the issue of drug is not just on the shoulder of LDEA. The Liberia National Police has statutory responsibility over that. However, this particular issue was not a raid conducted by Liberia National Police. It started, this was police coming to support a resident calling for help after an LDEA raid. The police did not go to raid drugs. So let's be clear about that. LDEA went in, they conducted a raid, they left successfully. After they left, the peddlers and the users attacked a resident of that area, claiming that he was the informant for the LDEA. So they called the police, and the police went in. I mean, was that wrong? That's what we do. We respond to calls of distress. That was what happened. The situation went bad, and we regret it, and we'll investigate it, and justice will prevail. There will be absolutely no cover-ups.
Thank you very much for helping me understand. It was an LDA raid and police came later. Dr. Richardson, you have two questions, and Mr. Dualu.
I don't have a question because it's really noisy in my background. I just wanted to say, IG, I share your sentiment about the death of the young Liberians. I'm happy that you're able to come here and explain and show your sorrow. So thank you. There's too much noise going on. They're doing something in my backyard, so I'll move on.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. I know that will soon be done, and then you can come with a question. Mr. Dualu, you have two questions, sir. You are muted, Mr. Dualu.
Okay, you hear me now?
The people, you're muted.
You're good.
Okay, thank you, Aji. Aji, thank you for coming to the show. I have a question for you. And here's the first question. It seems the regularity with which police officers in this country unholster a weapon is quite frequent. Now, what's the police guideline as it relates to unholstering your weapon?
Well, our use of force is similar to everything you've seen in almost any U.S. law enforcement body. I share your concerns as well. And when we speak about the need of training, every time I'm asked about the priorities of LMP, one of the top priority, apart from system processes and procedures, is the fact that there is a need for training. In any active and effective law enforcement body, there will be continuous training. I mean, once you get trained, you certify. Every 3 months, you must go in for some requalification or some drill or something just to keep you up to date. It's unfortunate that, I mean, we're in a law enforcement body that has not regularly updated the officers in line with that policy. So, I mean, can the organization excuse itself 100% from this? Absolutely not. And that's why I take full responsibility, for this particular action. I promise to investigate. But the investigation does not just stop there. It comes with recommendations as to how to avoid these things. One thing I know, I did see the flyers speaking about increase in police brutality. I acknowledge that it may seem like it is an increase. This is just a result of the openness and the transparency about us being willing to report even the wrong that our officers will get involved with, and be open and willing to talk about it. And that's why it seems like there are more. But if we go back to our books, if you look at the amount of police brutality that we have filed there that was never investigated and have just been laying there, it's way more alarming. I'm not trying to make
it. I know you're getting to the point. I don't want to interrupt you, but the question was very simple. Does the police have a guideline that say
it does? That's the first thing I said. That was the first thing I said as a user.
What is the guideline?
Okay, I can share a copy of our user force continuum with you.
Just a man to understand. What I'm putting into the gun. That's the only question.
Bro, the police has a strict guideline that instructs them when a weapon can be drawn. I will share with you so that you can read it to know what time they can take out their gun.
Okay. My second question, RJ, are you currently confident? Because we know when the transition from the previous government to this government, there was a bunch of young men that were brought into the police force. Are you satisfied with the current police badge that are serving the Liberian people? Are you satisfied with it?
Well, satisfaction is somehow subjective. If I was, I wouldn't be requiring the continuous training. I think we have good officers. We have people who are willing to serve their country, regardless of whatever dispensation they were brought under. The thing is, there is a need for continuous training. People have been trained 10 years ago, but they never ever been back to the academy to say good morning to an instructor. The times have changed. Basically, what they learn, all of the tactics, everything, the crime pattern, everything has changed. And it's just been going by serendipity until we hit a break in the rule like we have now before the call is made for us to even discuss these issues. But there is serious room and need for improvement, and we need to invest more in the training of our officers.
Eduardo, are you done? Thank you. Yeah, he said he's done. I think they're doing something in the studio. Well, let me bring you Ashley before I go to Fatika. Ashley, your question for the IG. The next thing we'll be talking about the retirement. So let's stick this only to what just happened, the trending issue. Mr. Doe, please.
Yeah, hi. How you doing, IG? Welcome, and nice talking to you again. I will have just one question for you and a comment. But quickly into that, IG, I wanted to say I am sick and tired to my stomach of hearing the issue of, these people were brought in the police force, they didn't get training and this. I'm sick and tired of hearing that at all. Adi, the very same people that we keep talking about brought in the police force and not training, they were there before and they didn't do all of these things. So I don't think that is an excuse at all for any issue. And I want to also appreciate you for acknowledging that police brutality has increased under your watch, although you try to, relate it again to some past event, which I would not agree with, and I'm sure you will agree with me, because all of those, or at least 99.9% of those in the police force today, did not get hired today. They were there from time past. Unless they were only waiting for you as the RG before they start to do what they are doing now, we should be laughable. But I think we should take responsibility and forget about the excuses that may not hold water, because you cannot have someone serving a position for 6 years, did not do a certain thing. At a certain time, they just started doing it, and then you want to attribute the person's service 6 years ago to what they are doing today.
Well, Isaac, no. I don't know if you did hear me right. I think I said one thing and you perfectly think me saying another. I didn't try to relate this to the past regime. I took full responsibility of it, and neither did I even acknowledge that there's been an increase. I'm saying what seems like an increase is the continuous reporting and acknowledging of the missteps of our officers. That's why that's why it seems like it's more. But we should do a comparative analysis. But that's not my concern at this point in time. My concern is the forward move of the entity, improving the service delivery of our people. That is my concern. I mean, it is about what's happening under my watch. So I mean, your flyer made a blanket statement that there is an increase. I'm saying that what seems like an increase may not be an increase. It's just because we are more accountable and we are reporting ourselves and bringing our issues to light more than we did in the past. As it relates to the training of the officers, all of the officers that are hired, number one, they are all Liberians, and that's the first and foremost priority. Whether they got the proper training or not, I'm calling for additional training for all of the officers. The ones that got it 6 months, the one that got it 3 months, every last one of us, including myself, which of course I do take advantage of every bit of a training that is available to me. We all need to be continuously refreshed. I mean, this job that we're doing is changing on a daily basis. It's about improving our service delivery. That's what we're concerned about here. I'm looking at correcting everything that I made wrong and just improving the service delivery. It's continuity. I'm not one of those who do not take responsibility and want to blame other people. No, I take full responsibility for what happens under my watch.
Right, and I appreciate you for that. I mean,
thank you.
In every position, continuous training is a good thing, even anywhere, any profession. But
I signed up for training. I got a lot of trainings online. I got training coming up that I will go and attend in person. So we all need to continue to improve ourselves.
Right. And lastly, I know you've partly answered the question that I had for you. So I would say, I disagree with you though that like you said, it does seem, although that is an acknowledgement, that you've started reporting cases from the side of LNP. That's why it appears as though there are certain things in my mind you don't need to carry on scientific, investigation on it.
No, Isaac, this will require statistical. It will require statistical investigation. And one thing I'm telling you, I'm going to open the records to you. Come in together. Let's lead this particular research. Let's look at it together. You have free access to the documents. Please, Isaac.
Right. So if I could just end, because the other colleagues have to come in. Like I was saying, we are all from Liberia. We know Liberia. The issue of maybe around Broad Street, one policeman go and slap one person there. Those things happen every day. So if you are basing on those, I'm not sure they're where I'm coming from. Now I'm looking at those ones that who kind of stir controversy in the country. Say for instance, the killing. I don't believe in me that a police officer who kills someone in Sino and the people will decide to shut up only because it was setting government. I don't think it will make sense. So all of these instances who come to the public glare no matter what. Now, there are other issues. I will agree with you that may not come up. Policemen go and taking money from somebody in the car. And these things happen every day, it's an everyday thing. But I'm only saying I just don't agree that because you are reporting more, that's why it seems. No, it is not that. Because more is happening, that's exactly why it is showing an increase. And again,
so Isaac, let's agree. Let's agree to one thing here. Let's agree to our both assumptions until we can do a statistical research to prove what we're claiming. I respect your comment. I hear you. I also respect the comment made by the network. But I'll open it to us to do a research to compare the stats and let's see what the facts are. And if it is, we'll correct it from there. It's all about improving our service. There's one error is too much for me. So, I mean, it's just unfortunate that these things keep happening. I mean, the one thing that I can assure you all of, I cannot control the individual attitude of each officer, but I can guarantee you that once they step out of the confines of the law, they will be dealt with in accordance with the very law that protects them. So, I mean, that's one thing we're guaranteed for, and it's unfortunate that we're discussing this kind of issue concerning the death of a child, which really breaks my heart.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Doe. I'm going to bring in Hassan Fadiga. Hassan Fadiga, please. We can announce that we have the acting OIC of LDEA, Christopher. He's in studio. We'll bring in the OIC after Mr. Gregory Coleman leaves. I want to say, please, folks, share the show. We have here the Liberia National Police, LG Gregory Coleman. We need your question. We need your comment. We'll read it up to him. We hear but for another 10, 12 minutes. Again, we appreciate you, sir, for joining us. Fadiga.
Greg, thanks for coming. Always never a dull moment to have you here. Few questions. I got two. My first question, you keep mentioning that the guys have been trained, they need retraining. I don't know what kind of training it is, but one of the things that is done in the West that I have seen to prevent these things is not just the regular how to shoot, is whether they are mentally capable of carrying firearm. Psychological testing is done on a lot of the law enforcement officers to see if they are mentally capable of carrying a firearm. I have come up close to some of these guys that I've seen in the police, and I think that they should be nowhere carrying even a stick in their hand. I've seen some intoxicated sometimes. I've seen some of them that just by looking at them, and I come with a background in psychology, so just so you know that it's just not regular bias. It's something that based on my professional judgment I have seen. Do you guys carry on or psych evaluation to see if your officers are mentally capable of carrying firearm before issuing them firearm?
I wish I had a defense for this. Unfortunately, there's none. One thing I will admit to you is that I've recognized the very concerns that you're raising. In some cases, we've even withdrawn firearms from people just because of being able, not even having your expertise. If I, at my level, with all your expertise, can recognize that at a certain point in time, then you know it is something that is concerning. We've made some requests to partners to help, and one of the things that we've been calling for is psychosocial support for the police. That is not available. We do not have that capacity at this point in time, but I recognize that as a very serious need. Apart from just the ability to manage a firearm is the lack of compassion, the constant compassion fatigue shown by a lot of the officers in the discharge of their duties and everything. So we recognize that as a limiting factor, and we're looking for help. So in whichever way any one of you can help us, I mean, we will wholeheartedly welcome the assistance in that regard. But I am concerned about it, and it's something that we have to urgently address.
Thank you. Which brings me to my second question. A young man was shot. What do you intend to put in place besides training? Because I've seen instances where people get shot 1 or 2 times. I've seen officers go to jail. Sometimes they go free. You mentioned that they were called at the scene for after the DEA left. Why are they? Let me rephrase the question. My question was, how did this whole situation?
I mean, don't add a Joe Biden on us here. Please, don't add a Joe Biden on us. Just ask your question. You're not 82 years old.
How did this resolve into shooting? Because there's a lot that we don't know. And I didn't want us, because of time, I didn't want to go into it. But how did this resolve into shooting of the young man? Because I saw his brother screaming. I listened to his mom. I think 3 o'clock last night, she was on one radio show crying. How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, and around the same time, I was on the phone with the mom and the dad, and I seen cry you heard. It kept me up all night. Like I said, the investigation is ongoing, and my comments about it could sway the investigation. But so far so good. For as much as we know, the use of force continuum is being seriously reviewed at this point in time, and let me just leave it at that, because it doesn't look good for us. I mean, it doesn't, not at all.
Not to interrupt
with the family about this particular issue. I know when Dwalu asked, when do you draw your weapon? I intentionally blacked and bridged it. Just because answering that question directly will speak to the same investigation. It's not like I cannot say exactly what it is, but it's a very sad moment. Very sad moment when we have to just call it for what it is. So I'll ask that we all just wait, let the investigators conclude their investigation at this point in time. It's very, very unfortunate.
Thank you.
The policy arrest.
Thank you very much, RJ. We got 2 more to go, with 3 actually, because our sister Glendy came back. But it's very concerning, and we can ask freely though. Are these people allowed to sue the Liberia National Police or the government of Liberia? Are they allowed to sue? Like, the woman lost her son. I mean, like the Kanjo situation, CFOS is. I know you're part of government. I'm not trying to tell you to tell them to sue, man. But don't you think it is important that we start suing you guys for police brutality, police harassment, like your police folks beat on the reporter from Spoon Network?
Like your reporter took the form and went to fill up the form with their complaint and never came back. We've been calling them to come back to send the investigation.
Because I told them to just stand down, but you think No. Because I cannot give them the decision, but Titi is not in the office. You're going to handle that. I want us to come back to this death.
It's as simple as them being able to write what happened to them.
No, it's okay. You will get that. You will get it. But I'm asking you a question, man. If we reach to the level of suing you guys.
You at this level with this platform, if you see Jaha, you pull back on this investigation. That's how most of the time some of these investigations.
No, we pull back. There's Madam Titi, who is the CEO, will carry on. I'm not going to get there and tell them what to do. But I'm asking you, are you guys preventing them from having a major lawsuit? Like in Kenjo, you'll give them 5,000 each. You're saying corporate social development fund 25,000 to them. Are you guys trying to water them down and make them feel that it's not important to sue the government when these things happen?
I can't speak to government action outside of the LMP. The LMP did not compensate anybody. The LMP conducted an investigation. My thing is this particular, look, we have to be sincere. I know the trust is not there. The only thing I can do is to say what the truth is. It's left for you to take it or not to take it. And it's extremely difficult for you to accept it knowing the history of the organization. So I clearly understand, but I can't tell you more than what the facts are and what the truth is. When it comes to the Kinjal issue, based on the investigation, I scrutinized it back and forth. Their findings, I could not counter their findings. And that's why I forwarded it to an independent body. This particular issue as well, I will wait to hear what they say at Imam I. I already can directly preempt what the findings should be. And I mean, if it's anything to the contrary.
Did you see the picture of the body? Did you see? Can you tell us? I mean, where on the body he was shot?
Well, I will have to wait. I will have to wait for the forensic report on that. But there is a wound on the chest. I don't know if it was the entry or exit wound, but let's wait for the report so that the forensic can inform us as to what. But I did see a wound on the chest.
Dr. Poplar, please, and Paul Kennedy. Then Glenn will take us home on this one.
Thank you, Stanton. IG, thank you for being here, and I want to appreciate you for your professionalism and for not ducking the tough issues. I remember the last time we were on the show, and I made some observations, and wherever you were and what you were doing, you stopped it and you called in to address the issue. That's good leadership, and I want to appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
That said, I do think your job has become exponentially more difficult than the first go around. And I continue to be very concerned because I think we need to see the police as partners and protectors and not persecutors. And so I want to ask you, because there was a time when Baltimore City, USA, had one of the best community policing in the USA. I want to ask you if you've ever thought about community policing and bringing some of our friends from across the river to train our officers here on community policing, because the public is always more akin to police who they feel a part of the community, and police are always more able to control those in the community if they feel like they're part of it. Have you ever considered that, IG Coma? Community policing.
So, community-oriented policing is the hallmark of this administration. We're moving it from just being an event-based action to the overarching philosophy for guiding our every action as we intervene in crisis and prevent crimes from happening. We are forging ahead with different relationships with different sister cities. Baltimore is of no exception. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the Prince George's County sheriff. We've been able to meet with members of LAPD from the NYPD. So we're reaching out for help in every area at the Minneapolis Police Department. When this incident happened, immediately I got on the phone and called Chief Medario Arredondo, the former Minneapolis police chief who handled the George Floyd situation. And he called me in for immediate consultation. And we spoke about this, and he gave some guidance as to how to deal with this issue and some preventive actions to be taken. He has agreed to even come to Liberia by the 26th of July. He will be visiting us. He will run some training sessions for the leadership of the Liberia National Police as well. And we're hoping to attract more international actors to help us out. But the thing here is that we are seriously challenged, and the challenge runs beyond just the LNP. Look at our society. All of these people that are part of this police body, they're just from right in the very communities. There's the reflection of our society. It's unfortunate that the foundation that we have built these trainings upon are crumbling, and it's crumbling because the society itself continues to crumble even more. As we put the weighted training on the officers. So at this point in time, I know that all is not well. We are not at the point where everybody will want to see us, but we need the support. We need the collective support to be able to get there. We will be transparent, we'll be accountable, and we will answer to the people. We'll bring service alive in this LNP. Yes, we're forging ahead with collaboration with sister cities. In August, we'll be in Canada as well. September, back here to the US for the IACP. I was just at the United Nations Chief of Police Conference, where we were able to establish relationship with over 15, 20 different countries. In some of these areas, we will be sharing best practices. So we're concerned about the issues, and we're really reaching out for help. I was asked the other day, what are our priorities? Before we can even roll out, and whatever the first would be logistics and stuff. Yeah, that is needed. Before we can even do that, the foundation, the administrative structure, system, processes, procedures, electronic workflow structure to be able to support the workings of the police, then the training of the officers, their well-being, meeting their physiological needs and what have you, before we even come to the logistical requests. Listen, I'm just really, really sorry and embarrassed to be here at this point in time to deal with this issue, to be answering for the loss of a boy who could be my child. I mean, it's there's no defense here. It's upright failure, because the primary objective of any law enforcement body is to protect life and property. The loss of life at the hand of a police officer, there's no justification about it. I said the same thing when Kinja happened, and I say the same thing even more strongly here now. And that's why we're going to be taking some decisive actions at this point in time, like pulling the weapons from all of the officers until we can get the needed support and training that they need before they can even get them back.
Thank you, IG. I appreciate your response. And it's good to hear about the different opportunities for leadership in the police. I do want to reinforce here, IG, that the people who really need the training are at the bottom. So the question I have, my second final question is, are there trainings in the county? Are there police training facilities in our counties, the 15 counties? I know Morovia, we got the big police academy. What about other counties? Are there academies there and training opportunities for our police in the counties?
So there's training facilities in different parts of the country. Unfortunately, they are not. The facilities are worse than what we have at the Central Training Academy, which is the LMPTA. We have one in Maryland. There's another one in the Grand Cape Mount area. But all of those facilities need some renovation. It's unfortunate that, I mean, for the kind of request that we need to bring them up to speed at this point in time, we did not get it due to the competing priorities. But we're going to utilize what we have in the Training Academy in Morovia. We will bring officers down from different parts of the country at different point in time. The training calendar was just approved. I made some adjustments to it, and that was day before. That was 2 days ago. And on that calendar, I put a request there for training, for firearm training and drills for 2,000 officers, and I approved the day before yesterday. Yesterday, this particular event happened. So I mean, it's just quite unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Poplar. Let me bring in Glendy and Paul Kennedy. You can go live real quick. Glendy, please, your 2 questions.
IG Coleman, how are you?
Could be better, Glendy.
It's always a pleasure to talk to a Scorpion brother. We are from Cottonton.
Thank you, my dear Scorpion.
So I hear you. And I know that you're connected with people from various backgrounds. I also hear about your connections with people outside of Liberia, and lending their help to the police department. I don't know if you've heard about, there is a new organization here. They're actually having their first like an induction. It's called the Association of Liberian Law Enforcement Organization. So I don't know whether you've heard about it. Pa Suku is I think the treasurer. And most of our police people, men and women that are outside of Liberia that live within the states, they are part of that program. I want to encourage you to probably tap into that base so that they can be able to provide some assistance to the police in Liberia. So I don't know if you've heard about it, but I would encourage you to kind of reach out to them too, because it's our country and we need to be able to do better for Liberia. So I have one question for you.
I am in contact with them.
Okay.
The last time I was here in the U.S., we had a meeting. Ivar was very generous to allow us to meet in his home. and I've maintained a close contact with them. One of the members of that body was just in Liberia, and he had the opportunity to visit some of our zones and depots and do a ride along as well to get an understanding of the challenges and to make some recommendations as to what trainings that they could help to provide. So yes, we're in serious consultation. More so, we're looking at, we're engaging our partners, those who sometimes bring in foreign trainers for us, especially the U.S. government, the State Department, asking them that this is a network of official law enforcement practitioners here in the U.S. who understand the cultural context of our place. They're originally from Liberia, and it would be best that if you're supporting us in this regard, that you prioritize using members of this group to come in to help to do the training. So yes, we are in close contact.
Yeah, great. That would be wonderful. I want the police of 2000 or the police of the previous government. There's been a lot of issues with image rebranding, and you come off the back where people, I don't want to say the least people that people listen to or the least people that gets the credit will probably be the police department in Liberia because of what the different roles have been and how they've been able to interact with citizens. What are you specifically doing to assist with the rebranding, therefore lead to training of this police department so that people will also accept them? And whatever you're doing, I want to also add, are you planning on having regular press briefings, so that you can do a whole thing about image rebuilding for the police department?
So in my intro, I mentioned the fact that the police, being that graphic representation of the state's authority, they're the attraction for every dissatisfaction that happens in a state. So if you have a country that bad governance has been the order of the day, definitely people will at some point in time become so disenchanted that they will stand up. And once they stand up, it's the job of the police to be there to ensure that they restore order, public order management, and to enforce the laws. So the police will continuously and constantly engage people for different reasons, things that are not even police related. Moreover, we strive to build a safe community, safe societies where our children can play in peace, where we can go to work and be more productive citizens. The components of that safe society are not all law enforcement related, but when the outcome of the lack of safety is referenced as police just not doing their job. And I use the Amanda Nebo situation as a clear example of what constitutes a safe society. Amanda got attacked, police responded, got her from hospital to hospital. In a safe society, the police will be complemented with a functional hospital that will receive her and be able to give her the right treatment on time to save her life. We take the responsibility for the lack of safety, but I mean, we can take so much and no more, because we're not going to go anywhere if it cannot be corrected. There are things that have to complement our effort to ensure that safety is actualized, and those are basic social services. I mean, and it is my hope and prayer that as this government has begun, that this administration will continue to strive ahead and forge ahead to make sure that these services are made available to the people so that we can actualize what a safe society looks like for our children. You had the other day, people pay the school to take care of their children, entrusted their children to the school, went to work. The same school decided to endanger the lives of those children, put them on the road to expose them to incoming vehicular traffic, which led to the death of 3 persons. That's not a safe. That's not a safe society. So it encompasses way more than just the role of the law enforcement officers. But we are committed to playing our part, even with the lack of everything that we need to do our job. We will continue, and as we get them, we will improve our services. So we intend to be very transparent. We intend to be accountable to the people, and do everything we can to gain the trust and help to build the legitimacy that we deserve as a law enforcement body.
Thank you very much, RJ. Paul Kennedy.
Thank you, and good evening to my fellow panelists. RJ, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
You have a tough thing on your hands, which leads to my question: what is your budget? How much is the Liberian government giving the police to be able to, to respond, to commensurate most of what you are doing to keep our people safe? What is the annual budget the police has?
The police has a personnel-based budget that is over about 87% compensation, and the rest is for operations. So operations would be somewhere between $4 to $5 million for police operations and everything else, and that is quite inadequate to actually run the police. What we intend to do is to no longer do a bare boom budget, but rather, as we are currently working on our strategic plan, is to incorporate our vision and direction in our strategic plan over the next 5 years, and to do a realistic budget that will support that plan, and a budget that will tell the story as to where we're going, things that we hope to achieve, and present it to the leadership of the country, so that they can see exactly what we intend to do. And then, the decision makers can decide which things that we should focus on and the things that we should leave.
So, Chief, what you're telling us on this platform, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What you are telling us on this platform is the entire police operation for all 15 counties to protect 5.2 million people is $5 million?
Well, yeah, operation-wise, yes. Compensation is about 16 million. And the rest for operation. Yes, about that.
Yeah, no, forget the compensation, because that money not coming to you. That money going to the people payroll, right? I'm not talking about the payroll, because that money you're not even seeing the payroll component. That one goes straight from finance ministry into the people's account. The money that is coming for operation. Yes, the money that is coming for operation, to be able to move the 13 police car you got, to be able to reach outside the country, outside Monrovia, to go to respond to crime, it's only $5 million. Is that what you're saying?
That'll be about 4.7 million, yes.
And do you get the $5 million in cash? I mean, in full, or it is just appropriated and not disbursed?
Well, I mean, it's released in trenches. So on a monthly basis, they release an allotment, and then the allotment is processed through the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Justice, and then it's released into the account at the Central Bank, which is the only place that we hold accounts in the Central Bank of Liberia.
So my final question, what's your grievance mechanism? What's the grievance redress mechanism, both for internal and external grievances? Like now, the instance we have, do you have an external investigation team that reviews the report that comes from within your internal investigation team?
So within the organization, we have the officers involved shooting team that is immediately activated when an incident of such occurs. The officers become interdicted and turned over to the professional standard division. Professional standard investigates. Immediately when that happens, the officer weapon is withdrawn. The officer is placed on a stand down, the interdiction process, the answer to the investigation. And once the investigation is concluded, the feedback comes to me. If it's administrative, I honor their recommendation. If it recommends criminal prosecution, we turn it over to the CSD. And the law also states that these cases must also be reported to the Civilian Oversight Complaint Board. So like this particular event that is ongoing, it will be reported to the Civilian Oversight Complaint Board as well, just so that they are aware of it.
Thank you very much, the Liberia National Police. RJ, like I said, we have the officer in charge of the Liberia DEA. He will come next on our show.
We try to find room for Winfred Russell. We don't know what's happening. They have not gotten back to us. We'll continue with the IG. Let's talk about the information that you are about to carry on mass retirement. Bring us up to speed, sir.
So before we go into what you term as mass retirement, let me just use this time to acknowledge the contributions of Mr. Winfred Russell. He continues to make proper representation for the LMP out here in Minnesota, making the case for support for us. He was just able to acquire almost, I think, 80 to 100 pieces of body cam for the LMP. We're now discussing the software support for those cameras so that we can have them shipped to Liberia and activated for accountability purposes. So, Mr. Russell, I want to say thank you very much for your continuous support. We also got another donation through an individual who may not want us to call his name right now, but we got 10 of those smart boards that we're going to use at the training academy and set up training rooms at some of our sister agencies like the LDA, the fire service, so that we can have the training rooms there that when we, as part of our collaboration, there will be officers from different areas who will be able to deliver quick courses and stuff to the officers in those different areas in real time, so the boards will be used to help facilitate that process as well. To that individual, I say thank you ever so much for your support, your continuous support. Life, the continuity of life, we're born, and at some point in time, we die for life to continue. If we all lived forever, your great-great-great-great-grandpa would be right next to you in our house. There would be Chuka right there, and I don't think you have a space to breathe, and that's just how the order of things are. The Liberia National Police is an institution established by law, guarded by law. We're covered by the National Security and Intelligence Act of 2011, which speaks to the measures for retirement. It tells you that one can retire at age 65 or 25 years of service, whichever comes first. And in our line of work at age 60, 65, you can, I mean, we cannot, we don't want to put more stress on the body in a area where, I mean, we don't have the best health care. We just have to be concerned about our people, even if they're not concerned about themselves. So what is considered this mass and forceful retirement of officers is in accordance with the law. We submitted the names to the Civil Service Agency. We referenced two acts, the National Social Security Act of 2016 and the National Security and Intelligence Act of 2011, which had covered us till that act came to being, which all the NASCOP Act calls for 65. Civil Service reviewed the document and basically informed us that yes, they are all up for retirement. However, we need to start to engage government to find the money to retire them. Right now, if anyone is saying that I'm in violation of the law, I do agree 100% that yes, I am in violation. And I'm in violation because I've made a choice for the greater good of the organization and the people who have served it for all of these years. Because if I follow 100% what the law says right now, it's not my responsibility to go to find out where government will get the money from to pay them for the retirement. What I've done, I've taken those officers to remain on until government can address that issue, but transition them from active operational roles to more instructional and advisory positions while we work with government to be able to find the money to cover their retirement. And I think it's just a gracious action on my part and being considered, because I've seen people just get up one morning, you're chief of this, and you get retired, and the next thing you start to deteriorate. Before you look, the person's drop and die, because policing is our lives. Even as I was 38, when I got relieved of my post, I didn't feel that I lost a job. It was basically like a life taken away from me. So I know exactly how it feels. So, and that's why we've taken the decision to transition them. They remain on the payroll. They will be into lighter roles, to prepare them for retirement when the money is available for them to be officially retired. But nobody's kicking them out of the organization. People just need to grow. Other young people who are coming in, they need to grow. There's a need for continuity. There's a need for other people to be promoted and be active to perform some of the tasks that those who are older can no longer perform.
So let's just go back to the report we are receiving from the Liberia National Police about this retirement. First of all,
that's correct, Sonny. You're not receiving it from the Liberia National Police.
Our sources from the Liberia National Police. We're just not going to call their names, but our sources.
From sources.
Yeah, I just make it clear now. You want me to be that right? Not from you, but from our sources within the Liberia National Police. Okay. So this is what happened. 37 senior officers were called in as if to say they were called for a meeting that you guys was genuine enough to inform them. They were called by Fixarad Abiago, and of course, is and they said, listen, we're going for a meeting, turn everything over. But the question they are asking though, 2005, everybody was asked to do everything over at the Liberia National Police. When are you calculating the 25 years?
So there were two categories of officers. Those who were active serving officers who were put through the restructure and reform. It mean that you started from a new year of service, and they can now argue now that, when we went back to the academy is when our employment started. No, when they came back from the academy, they enjoyed the fact that we are the OLMP officers, we are the most experienced ones, so we must take the positions. So why now you not take the number of years that came along with what you enjoy as the OLMP officers who have been around? It starts from the day you were employed. Your date of employment never changed because you were never dismissed when you went through the restructure and reform. You were sent to the academy, you continue to receive your pay, and you just got a new training. That was it. It didn't change the date that you entered the service. So they cannot tell you, say, they counting from 2005. That's not how it works.
Do you have anybody right now over the age of 60 that you didn't call into that meeting about retiring?
So I don't know in detail who all was called to the meeting, but one thing I can tell you, Stanton, everybody on the list that was sent to CSA, they are a part of this particular process. Maybe the people who are not called are people who do not have active assignments at this point in time.
So the argument is that you have people with active assignment over the age 60, they are there, you didn't call them, you didn't send them to CSA, but you've been selective. That's the argument.
This is not, trust me, this is not a selective action. I wish I had a copy of the instruction that I sent to my deputy here, which I can share with you because, yes, I take full responsibility. I authorized this action. And the instruction was clear that every last one mentioned on that listing sent to CSA that have been approved for retirement must be moved or they must be transitioned to instructional and advisory roles. That's my instruction. And there will be absolutely no one on that list that will be holding a position after that instruction. So, those who are called to that room, maybe they were the most senior, but I guarantee you that everyone on that list is a part of the category.
I want you to define the argument that they are sending to me, though they have not yet declared their political affiliation with any party, but they are saying that because you want to get rid of them to bring in mostly UP partisan. Is that true?
Who are they? Which party are they from that we're taking them out to bring in UP partisan?
Give me an opportunity to speak to it. So they are listening to you.
The Liberia National Police is not a political organization, and we do not encourage the issue of politics around there. The actions that's taken is meant for the growth and continuity of the organization. And the only thing I can tell you, Stanton, if anybody in that group believe that they are younger than the set age range, and they were targeted and placed in that particular category, or they have not served the 25 years, let them please come forward with the proper documentation. I will look at it and make the necessary correction. But trust me, I've gone over this multiple times. I've sent for their folders, and maybe some of them may have forgotten the birthday that they gave when they joined the police, but we haven't forgotten it because the records are there with their signature attached to it. So anyone, I mean, there could be errors. I mean, there could be people in the line that maybe we want to compromise the authority and change the information along the way. So, and they decide to put someone who they didn't like on the list. So, I mean, for the sake of this argument, I mean, please, anyone, they all know that I'm quite approachable. They can all walk to my office any point in time, ask for an appointment to see me, and they're giving access with priority. So let them come forward and bring any documentation that excludes them from this category, and then we'll correct it immediately.
Well, what's about T-Swan? How old do you think T-Swan is? He's above 65, and he's not been called for retirement.
Unless T-Swan gave the police football age from the time he entered police, but for now, he is.
I don't want to quote these names because a lot of names coming up and say you are fully aware that they're above 65. Are you saying that they got different age?
We
don't have the time, but I'm putting up T-Swan because I know T-Swan, so I have to pick on him. But because
I beg you, yeah, please don't make people go find a birth certificate tonight and put it on Facebook, because I know he's capable of doing that. But listen, I mean, if they have concerns, I can't. People do a lot of stuff in Liberia, so I mean, I will not tell you say 100%. Say, oh no, it's.
Are you sure that this one is not about 69 or 66? Are you sure? Have you seen his document? No, seriously.
You know, I did ask about him as well. He's not in that category. T-Swan is still in his 50s. And that's what you call the man age.
No, listen, I don't want to. It's not my job. When people send us this information, we like to ask you and thank you. You came very last quick, and Dr. Richardson will take 1 or 2 because we see that the rehearsals are coming in the back. We got to bring the LDA or ORC. I want to ask you this question last week. Have you received the money or the lawmakers blacked out transaction about your request to get money from the bank, loan from the bank?
So, Stanton, I've tried to explain this thing to you over and over and over again, but apparently your mind is so fixated about what you believe it is.
I just asked you, have you received the money?
So let me go over it again. This is not taking loan from the bank. I'm not going to any bank to take money from the bank.
I mean, we get a record. I send the document to you. I send the document to you. I get a document.
Mr. CEO, you are giving
yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's break the thing down easily here so we can resolve the matter today. This is a proposal of a transportation package by a company that does specialized vehicles. They buy vehicles, they take it to the factory, they customize it for customers. This group made a pitch government that since you have a crisis, they do have an office in Liberia. They work in Liberia. They've supplied the government before. Since you do have a crisis with vehicles, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put up this amount of vehicles for you. You're going to pay this percent and then pay the rest over 5 years. It went to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance pushed it to the Debt Management Committee. The Debt Management Committee approved of it. It went and it was placed. The funding for it was placed in the budget and put on the roll for our entity. We've gone through the procurement process. We've gone to PPCC. We made a request to PPCC because this offer was made by them, and they had a specialized factory to do this. We asked PPCC to ensure that the procurement process was completed. PPCC did all their investigation, and they gave us a letter of no objection. At this point in time, we're going through contracting with the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Finance, to ensure the entire 9 years complete before we can move on to the next step. So this is a $1 of that money not coming to Gregory Cummings. What Gregory Cummings is receiving is some vehicles to send to your hometown and to the hometown of everybody else here so that we can make sure we protect the Liberian people.
What's different on the vehicle, on the 20 vehicle? What's different on the 20 vehicle?
But some of our state has some level of integrity, Papa.
Gregory. You have received some vehicles, right, that you should be paying for, right? Maybe 20.
No, I have not received any vehicle that I should be paying for.
Okay, you are fully aware that you will be receiving vehicles, right? You are in conversation with some Liberian company that brought in vehicle for the Liberian National Police. Am I correct?
You brought in vehicle for Liberian National Police?
Yes, sir.
Or Liberian company?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know there is a donation of 20 vehicles. That's not vehicles that I'm going to be paying for. A donation of 20 vehicles that
is it free?
It was procured through ABK. I'm the ABK group, but it's ABK. He's the.
Is it free?
It's free to the Liberian National Police. The government of Liberia pays.
That's not why. No. Are you sure it's free, Gregory? Because you're on record now. So they decided to donate. Let me finish, Gregory. I beg you. I will never interrupt you again.
To tell you that there are 20 Toyota Belza vehicles. The Toyota Corolla, 20 of them.
Yeah, I brought it up because I know. That's why I'm asking you.
Free as far as I know.
Government, as far as you know.
Yeah.
So you are saying to us that they brought in the vehicle and gave it to you like we receiving the yellow machine free, and later a $54 million bill was sent to the lawmakers. Are you sure? Liberians listen to you. That if I put up document that this vehicle is not free, then what say you? Because what we receive, the vehicles are not free. They are not. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you put out a document that says the vehicle is not free, it will be new news to me. And I would take your document and I will follow it through to find out the truthfulness about what you're saying. As far as I, Gregory Oliver Wendell Coleman, Inspector General of the Liberian National Police, know this is a donation and it comes at zero cost to the Liberian government. Zero. As a matter of fact, the donor just sent me the payment, the final payment of the vehicles. So anybody else telling you something else that's new information, maybe there'll be different discussion behind the scene. I'm not aware of it.
Thank you. At least thank you for really saying you are not aware, and maybe they have another conversation. The reason why I brought it up because I know I have some picture of the vehicles and I'll send them to you. I want you to investigate. So when we have you next time, we can have this conversation. I heard about the 20 vehicles. I know where they are located right now. But the main issue is that they were not.
You were informed because myself, I even know where they're located right now.
Yeah, but we talk about Liberia now. I have to be informed. Dr. Richardson will ask the last question because we have to go. Greg, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that we can make progress next time.
Thank you.
Dr. Richardson.
Like I said before, I have a comment to make to you. Whenever you appear on Spoon, it's always a pleasure having you. You present in a very authentic and honest way to the Liberian people. As it relates to psychosocial issues in Liberia, please be very careful. I know you had some concerns, and we should be concerned. We should get involved in the psychosocial education of your police members. However, the training field is making sure that whatever battery that you're using, whatever testing that you're using is culturally competent, okay? Many of the personality tests that we have in this country are not culturally competent for people in Liberia. So you have a long way to go, a long way to work on how can we develop tests, which is the question that we're asking right now in the field, that it would be culturally competent to other. Two of the most popular tests that we use, the Minnesota Multi-Phases Personality Inventory and the Pennsylvania Assessment Inventory, they are not culturally competent for people that you would want to use them for in Liberia. So again, I mean, we can talk more about this offline if you're interested to develop something for your recruits. Thanks.
Thank you.
So Gregor, one thing we're not doing on the show before you leave, you will not take all of my panelists, please. Don't do that. It's not the reason why you come on Spoon every evening. You've told a lot of them, please leave them alone, please. We will charge you.
Stand on. Can I quickly show you something very quick to the RG?
Do it quick now because you gotta go.
Before you go, RG, there has always been this case involving one Queen Johnson who was accused in some murder issue. My understanding is she now was politically rewarded with a job at the port. Where was that case? I've not heard anything of it since, because a young man got murdered. I'm sure his parents are still grieving, but there is none whatsoever. Where was that case? If I may ask.
Did you say Queen Johnson?
Queen Johnson, yes. She
Okay.
escaped. There was a press release from the police. I'm sure you're aware of it. And she was, one of those people, according to the police, person of interest in the murder of one Joshua, during the campaign stop. But there's no information whatsoever of that case. I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, Isaac, I just wrote her name down. I think I remember in passing something about this person around, was it almost around campaign or transition period or something like that?
Yeah, something around that side.
Yeah, okay. So we will make a follow up on this, but I hope the file is still there. It's not missing like how some of those other files or sensitive documents we're still trying to find, sensitive cases we're still trying to find them. So let me make an inquiry on this, and I will personally reach out to you. That's a promise.
Thank you very much, IG. It's always good having you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We want to say thank you very much for joining us. We have Gregory Kuma now. Very quick, I know that we have the roster and his team in the back. We'll bring them on shortly. Dama, can you bring in the Labrador LDEA, the LDEA? Can you bring him on, Dama, to discuss further about this incident? The OIC of the Labrador Drugs Enforcement Agency. Dama, are we ready?
Just a minute. Just a minute.
All right, so folks, let's listen to the LDEA officer in charge. It is important. He's in studio. We have to talk to him. Then from there, we're going to move over to Russell and his team and talk about what's happened today. It's good. Okay, he's on. Christopher K. Peters, it's always good to have you for your first time you're in studio. So come again. It's always good to have you. Welcome to the Spoon Talk.
Thank you, Stanton. Thank you. Are you getting me?
You are loud and clear. Can you face in the camera, please? Dama, can you please do adjustment?
Okay.
Thank you. You good. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you to the rest of you on the show tonight, and to the Liberian people that are listening. I thought of walking this evening, and thank you for the opportunity, because I heard that yesterday the network put out the information that 3 persons have been gone down on our watch. So I think it was important that we come on today to provide some clarity. So it's good to be here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. It's always good to have you, acting director, officer in charge. Let's talk about what is happening at LDA, where you met them. Were you part of the LDA, or you came from another agency?
No, I haven't worked at LDA, even though I have an extensive law enforcement background for the last 19 to 20 years. But I'm with the U.S. Embassy as investigator before being drafted into LDA on June 4th by the president.
Okay. Again, we're going to ask you a question. This is what we do on Spoon Talk. Dama, if you can please, I beg you, adjust the camera. The director is getting off. We just want to say welcome. We're going to ask you some questions. Yes, indeed, we announced, and you were quite correct. You just took over June 4th, I believe. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So from June 4th up to now, I don't know how many deaths on your watch as an officer in charge, how many people your people that killed. You will be free to tell the Liberian people, but one, of course, that just took place with the young man. Let me give you the time for you to explain and bring us up to speed on your watch. Is there any death? How is the LDA?
So the LDA is good and bad. Oh, they got caught the whole thing.
You're good. You're good. Talk to us. We can hear you.
Okay, so the LDA is good, and like all they have their own challenges. But I'm happy that a lot of the people there they want to work. They are passionate about their work, and I think if we do more in addressing the constraints, very long haul constraints of the agency, I think they will step up to the task in ensuring that we fight drug comprehensively in our country.
And Damon, please, he's frozen and he's getting off camera. I beg you, Damon, if you can put him on the producer's seat, maybe it will be better. If not, you can make the necessary adjustment. But I believe you can still hear me, right, Peters? Mr. Peters?
Yes, I'm hearing you, Stanton.
So what I'm gonna try to do the adjustment, let's talk. It is important for, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing you. I can get you clearly.
All right, thank you. We'll talk to you while you get back on. It is important, I mean, so talk to us about this recent incident, the death of the young man.
Which particular incident? Because I know the IG Coleman has addressed a lot of the issue that happened last
IG Coleman said that your guys went there first. I mean, what was the reason why your guys went there? Can you help us understand your involvement, your entity involvement?
Yeah, so I mean, usually the LDA we work on intelligence, and once we have an actionable intelligence about a particular area where we believe drug is not just being used but also sold, and our officer confirm and verify said intelligence, they usually move in and do their operations in the bus, and if they found and seize any substance and make any arrests, they can get out. So as the RG said, yes, our people move in from where we're getting, and it was smooth, and they move out. And what happened behind them, we can't say as we are on air now, because we do not know what happened that led the police intervention later on. But as of the shooting time, we were already out of the community. So that's why they addressed the issue that at that point the police took responsibility. And so one of the things I also wanted to clear is that since I took over the LDA, there's no LDA officer that have any weapon. We do not have weapon. Even I would sit in the studio, do not carry a weapon. So if you see a weapon with any LDA agent across the 15 counties of Liberia, they will be holding it illegally. And I think the police will call the police in if we see any LDA personnel holding guns. So we've gone down nobody. For the last 20 some days I've been in the LDA, we've gone down nobody. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, but my last question, then the guys can come in. There was also was it on your, since you took over June 5th, minus this death of the young man, were there any other death information that you guys try to cover up?
So you said 3 deaths, and I would love.
I'm taking it step by step. I'm just asking you now. Were there any other information that you guys?
We had an incident on Friday, June 28th at New Georgia Junction. 10 of our agents, while returning from the headquarters, going to the Ghanarsville sub office around the Ghanarsville Town Hall, they made a stop at New Georgia Junction and decided to follow up on a lead that they were looking at. And as they got to a particular area where it's reported that it's concentrated by drug users, we learned, unfortunately, that a body was recovered. And when we got that information, we dispatched our folks to the scene, and it was established that a body was discovered, and the body was moved. The lifeless body of one Blessing Yeyu was discovered, and he was moved to JFK, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. And so we follow up on Saturday, and I was at the family house on Sunday with my own family to sympathize with the family and to assure them that we were looking to the matter to determine the circumstances under which their son died. And then yesterday, Monday, I hosted them at the office. So what we've done, we did our internal investigation, preliminary internal investigation, to determine what our officer acted consistent with some of the policies we are looking at. And today we turn it over to the LMP, because at this point, they put us on homicide, alleged homicide, and that is not in the province of the LDA. That is with the Liberia National Police jurisdiction. And so we forwarded them today to the LMP through the office of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Colonel William Moba. And so I believe the LMP is capacitated to handle that aspect of the investigation. But what we can say on our watch, we can assure not just the family, but the public, that we'll try our best to be as much as.
So we'll get to the trying best. Dama, can you please allow Director Christopher Peters to sit on the producer's seat. We need him in by way of video. Damo, are you there? Christopher, is Damo in studio?
What's his name? What Magic is here trying to work on the setup?
Okay, so Magic, can you allow Christopher on the producer's seat, please? And then just come in, because let's do that, please. We just can talk to him when off camera. So while you set him, just bring him in, please. While you set him up, Dr. Richardson, thank you very much. That's fine. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So we good. It's good to see you. Yeah. So my question is, you said, well, they saw the left body of Yeyu. What happened? Who killed him?
So this is why we're asking what happened, because our people went in, and unfortunately we heard somebody got killed. And so the LMP, I'm sure over the next couple of days, will come up with, they will make that determination on what happened. But at this point, to say that we are responsible or not, that would be unfair to the investigation, and we will just be speculating. So it's good that we follow what the LMP will do. And once we know what happened, we will come right back to the media and let you know whether we are responsible, whether our men are responsible. But all 10 are currently under police custody and ongoing investigations.
Okay, so let me bring in the rest of the guys. I'm kind of confused. You walk into somebody's community, into somebody's home, Dr. Rich is in. They're all alive and well, having fun. You leave from there, somebody died. And just to believe that, well, you don't know. Your guys carry arms, right?
No, so I made it clarity. We do not carry arms. No LDA agents carry firearm on my watch. Not at least when I took over. Now, if you see in the 15 counties, we have no arm. If you see any LDA agent with gun, they will be held for illegal possession.
The gentleman that died, was he shot?
The physical mark, because I did go to JFK the night, Friday night, to see the body, and there was no, from physical view, there was no bullet wound, but he had an injury on his top, which some eyewitnesses say it happened because when the rain came down, there's a little flood around that New Jersey Estate area. The New Jersey Junction area. There are reports that the area he jumped, because when the guys got down from the vehicle and people started running, so there are different accounts that the area he jumped into the water while fleeing for fear of being arrested. He got injured by a stereo from a foundation that is being constructed. There are other accounts that look, one of the DA agent had a knife and it was piercing, hitting him in the top. So this is why we turn it over to the LMP to see what really caused his death. But
thank you, Dr. Richardson.
But there was no gun.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Spoon, Mr. Peters, to discuss really important issues relating to the Liberian people. My question to you is, you took over the LDA after conflicting situation involving Mr. Abraham Kroma and also Mr. Fadiga. What impact do you think that incident is having on the organization, the LDA? And what lessons have you learned in order for us to not repeat this again?
What particular issue are you talking about? The confusion with the suspended directors?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't speak to it because that is before the president's office, and the president will eventually make a determination about what happens. But internally, I think the staffers they've been very supportive since we took over. They're willing to work. It's just that they too are caught up in this situation where they have to work with an ORC, and they also have to look over the shoulder to see whether their former bosses will come back potentially. So sometimes there's a wait and see. But generally, I think they've been cooperating, and the institution for the last 20 some odd days been very steady, been stable, and we continue to increase our fight on drugs.
Great. That's exactly what I was asking. I wasn't asking to speak to investigation because I know it's on the president's desk. What I was asking you is to speak about the impact that the tension or the conflict between the bosses had on your organization. So you just told me that people tend to be a little bit paranoid. They're working, things are steady. So which is what I wanted to hear. Any lesson learned from the situation that you care to share? Like, what did it teach you about professionalism?
So personally, the last 12 years, I've worked in a system that is absolutely professional. And so I've taken that approach back and open up to everybody, make people feel respected, make them to feel that they value, that their decisions matter in what we do. Even though as OIC, I'm the only person doing technically a 3-man job, but we've been able to call a management team meeting every Monday to set the agenda for the week and allow them to do their work and help them and just do strategic coordination and intervention in areas that they have some doubt. So I think for the short term, I've had a great impact on them. So we just hope that the president can make a decision sooner so that the DEA can get back on track and see how we can focus our attention on this national issue that is plaguing the country.
When do you expect that decision to be made? I'm sorry, I know I'm done. I'm done.
I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't know why it is true that I would love the decision to be made sooner than later. But again, we have to help the president to give him the opportunity. He knows best. I know he means well for the LDA. So when he makes that decision, I know it will be in the interest of the institution. So we have to just wait and see what he would do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Poplar.
Thank you, Stanton. OIC Peters, good evening and thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
My first question, I want to veer on Dr. Richardson's question. Given that, without speaking with any specificity on the issue with the leaders, because I don't want you to speak to that, but are you doing anything that would encourage leadership cohesion at the LDEA? For example, team building that teach leaders how to be comfortable in their spaces and see the value of each other. So it's not competition, but it's complementing one another. Is there anything in the works to encourage that kind of team building and training at the highest level so that the leadership functions well and the organization will follow?
Yes, and I mentioned that in passing. So since I took over, I've been able to bring the team along in ways that everything is not just the OIC because the president sends me there, but also these are people who have some have capacities, they have experiences, some have institutional memory, and so all the work we've been doing, we sit around the table as a team and everybody making their input and suggesting. And when I have an idea, I advance the idea, and then I ask for a better idea than mine, and then we debate it and see how we can go forward. So it's been so far participatory. If you can send your reporters there and talk to any of the folks at the institution. So yeah, we've been making the environment very comfortable for people to feel that they are valued, that the work they do for the Liberian people is appreciated and is welcome and is encouraged, that they also do more and put in more time so that we can move the agency forward. So yes, we've created a couple of environment for that. With respect to training, that's one of the major challenges the LDA has. We have to train, we have to retrain, we have to train because the issue about drug is perpetrated in extreme secrecy, and so we have to get updated knowledge, hands-on training, and bring new techniques, new tactics, new development in the sector to the agents. So yes, we will have to train them from time to time, and also some of the agents we got who have not received training but are also working for the LDA, they also need to be trained. So yes, we consider all this.
All right, thank you. So the second question is, did I hear you say that all of the LDA officers now do not have arms? Did I hear that?
Yes, yes, and let me restate. On my watch, at least for the last 20 plus days, I took over an LDA that we do not have armed. There's no LDA agents in the 15 counties carrying gun. If you see any LDA agents carrying gun, they will be held for illegal possession. We do not have armed. We do not have armory. We do not
Were they
have.
carrying guns before you came? Were they carrying guns before you came?
I do not know, but I heard that the three suspended directors had a weapon, and it is my understanding that the Inspector General of Police, who just left, withdrew the weapons when the crisis erupted. And so the people that I'm presiding over currently, they do not have any weapon.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Paul Kennedy. Paul, you want to ask your two questions? We still got the
So,
rest of the time.
thank you so much, Mr. Peters. It's nice having you here. What is your relationship with the Liberal National Police? As far as in terms of scope of operation, do you have an overlapping function? How do you feel about the relationship with them?
I think we have a great relationship. That I would describe it, because the current IG is my former boss when I was in the LMP. When I was working in 2005, 2006 in the LMP Charge of Quarters as deck sergeant, where I began my law enforcement career. IGP Coleman was the deputy chief of patrol for administration. He was my direct supervisor. And this OIC position gives me another opportunity to work with him as a colleague in the national security framework. And so they've been very supportive where we have challenges, and if they can fill in, they're always helping us. So I think it's okay. Then there are conversations to sort of strengthen that further, not just using the national security framework, but like in institution to institution relationship, where the LMP can back us up on some of the raids we conduct, because we do not have weapon currently, and sometimes we get a little resistance from the communities and areas where we need additional hard power. The LMP is willing to back up us. So I think the relationship is good. It's good. It's great.
Right. So you answer my next leading question. But in your experience with the DEA, and I know you've been there for less than a month, has Liberia then and now been used as a conduit for the transit of drugs? I'm not talking about distribution in the country. Is somebody bringing drug from one country and using it to transship it to another country through Liberia? Is that on your report?
Yeah, there's a possibility that the country is being used for both for internal distribution and for also trafficking to other countries. So I give you an example. The lady we arrested, Richard Williams from Clay, through the preliminary investigation, told us that she went to Guinea and purchased the raw cocaine, and then used Sierra Leone to get into Liberia, and then she was nabbed at Clay checkpoint. Now, she said she was looking at the European market to carry the cocaine, to transport the cocaine to the European market. So she was looking at Brussels and the Netherlands. So yes, there is a possibility that Liberia is being used as a transit point or a trafficking point. Yeah. So the evidence shows that.
Thank you very much. I want to bring up something real quick before I go to Fadika. I actually said you guys have had so many incidents all over the country since you took over, and reported the incident that you guys are off cuff. There's no control on your acting leadership. But I want to give it to you because you're just an officer in charge. So as you said, maybe that's where we fall short. You remember this? This is you standing over here. Am I correct? That's you, right?
Yes.
This was one of the incidents that you didn't talk about. What's happened with this little boy in the photo?
So again, Stanton, I understand the fact that the network will want to break news, but it's good that sometimes we We verify. So this is something that I inherited. It happened before the letter appointed me June 4th. And this was the first incident that I had to settle. So the LDA had conducted a raid in Jamaica before I got appointed. And I went to the office on the 5th, on the 6th, and there was this report on OKFM that the LDA abandoned this kid. I think there was a bullet wound. He sustained a bullet wound in his thigh. So immediately, the officer with a badge on his waist is one of the assistant director for operation. I assembled a team and said, "Look, this is day 1 or day 2 of the OIC office, and then the press is saying we abandoned this kid. So let's go to the parents' house." So this is Coast Guard base. We went there to see the kid and to see the family. And there's a video interview for this visit on OKFM because we carry one of the OKFM journalists. And there's a video interview to this stuff, and then the parent praised LDA that from the day he sustained this wound, LDA took him to hospital.
What led to him sustaining the wound?
No, so there was a raid before I got there. There was a raid in Jamaica before my appointment. There was a raid in Jamaica before my appointment.
So this one, you're going to shift it. It was.
No, I'm not shifting. You see, I'm not shifting, but you're making an attempt to justify the.
No, it's not my work. I just asked you a question. Your engagement. It's not my work to make an attempt.
Yeah, so you're making an attempt to justify that on a man watch things are hector scattered.
So on your watch, how many incidents so far that led to death? On your watch, how many incidents so far that led to your folks applying some kind of mass weapon of destruction on him or body?
We don't have no mass weapon of destruction, but
I mean, if you take a knife and stab someone, that mass weapon of destruction. If you discharge your arm, a mass weapon of destruction. Yeah.
Again, that's an allegation. It's not been established.
So on your watch, how many incidents so far?
1, New Georgia Junction. That is being probed by the LMP. There's a criminal investigation being opened by the Liberia National Police, where our raid allegedly coincided with the reported death of a Liberian citizen. The LMP is looking at that case now. The issue you try to bring with the kid in Coast Guard base did happen before I arrived, and I had to respond to that situation. And the family, they commended LDA for the role we play in the child recovering and getting the necessary treatment.
Asa, did you ask a question? Okay, then Asa, go ahead and Fatiga will take us home. I really want to bring Mr. Russell on. I believe we are way past the time. The time is 5:44 in Minnesota. We can still catch up with them. So Asa, you go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Christopher. How you doing? Welcome on, man. I just wanted to ask, over time, there have been some raids. We saw the Facebook Live. We saw the former, not the former, but your boss, who is now, I think, on suspension and stuff, with some press conferences here and there about seizure of drugs and arresting some people in jail. Where are they? Where are those who were arrested? Where are the drugs? Where are the monies that were seized from them? Where are all of these things?
So we had a press conference. We appeared at MECA 2 weeks ago, and then we had a press conference on June 26th, International Drug Day. We did release the stats for seizures made for June 2023 to June 2024, and we also secure about 19 indictments for suspects that have been forwarded to court and facing pretrial detention, and we also secure some convictions, particularly. There was a suspect in Bapolo County who was arrested for the second time. She was convicted for 5 years. Those drugs are kept in a storage facility at the LDA headquarters. That storage facility is also supervised and monitored by the INL and UNODC, our major partner in the fight against drugs. So there's statistics, there are records kept by us and the international partner for many of the seizures made. I can't speak to money. I haven't been briefed on any seizure and officially about any seizure of money. But I can tell you the drugs that were seized, suspects that were arrested, the ones that were charged, are all been forwarded to court. And the drug seized are in our custody. And hopefully Friday, we will be destroying the drugs that have been disposed of by the court along the RI highway. And maybe someone will be there to cover that ceremony.
Yeah, if you're securing that, Fadiga should not be around there before some smoke go in your nose. I beg you.
So, but we want to say to you though, real quick, but though Fadiga taking us home, I want to put this letter up from the our sources at the Foreign Ministry. If you have this letter, one of those our honor Conan Abi Kraman, under his leadership, then he arrested Sierra Leone national. They are in the Liberian custody. I want you to bring us up to speed. The government of Sierra Leone requesting from the government of Liberia that they turn him over to Sierra Leone. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs wrote the Justice Department asking for legal advice. The Justice Department said it's okay to turn him over. Have they turned him over? What do you know about these different transactions?
Yeah, I can. As OIC, I can confirm that based on the advice of the Ministry of Justice and consistent with the diplomatic relationship between both countries and what the commitment they've agreed on, Corporal Safa has been turned over to the Sierra Leonean authority.
He was turned over when?
He was turned over on a weekend. I can get a date. He was turned over Sunday.
So I know it's beyond your purview. Probably it is when you have the foreign ministry involved, the justice ministry. What lesson is? How will you apply this into our own country? That the gentleman came into the country with a lot of different reasons, drugs, of course, and our people are dying. And based on our diplomatic relationship, the Sierra Leone government asked, "Can you turn him over?" And yes, indeed. Secretly, you guys turn him over. There were no, let us shame him, nothing. That treat him as a diplomat. He wasn't a diplomat. Can you actually speak to Liberians tonight? Everybody that come to put their hand up from another country, you guys going to turn them over because of diplomatic relationship?
I think the letter you show is largely self-explanatory. I don't think how I could add anything different from what you read clearly. So I want us to just go by what is written in the letter.
You don't want to get yourself in trouble.
No, it's not. I mean, there's you already have the letter. The letter is out there. There's nothing secret about the letter, and I responded to you that we made a decision.
How many of those people have you turned over?
We made a decision based on what the country
determined.
determined.
How many of those foreign nationals have you turned over?
Not more than what you have, what you've reported.
You don't know what I have. How many of them have you turned over?
So on my watch, I haven't turned anyone over more than what you have.
So this was the only turnover that you conducted?
On my watch.
Thank you very much. I think I have no other question. Fadiga will take us home on this one. Fadiga?
Chris, how are you, my man? Welcome.
Why are you laughing, Chris? It's good to see you. Sorry that you just walked into the bullet, though. I just decided to listen. I decided to show this letter.
I had to come because the police called me last night and said you were hammering me. That since I took over 3 persons have been gone down. I said,
Chris, but thing is that listen, I got Winfred Russell coming on, so I have to restrain myself on this question. But I have a lot of documents from your end, and we'll have you again. I know you're paying for your time, but I like the nation to see this: that a criminal, a drugs dealer, came into the country, and the Liberian government turned him over to his country, Sierra Leone. And Fadiga, take us home.
With the hope that he's prosecuted, also with the hope that he's prosecuted consistently with the understanding both countries agreed upon.
Chris, well, I have two concerns. One, if with this guy, a couple of months ago, I had an interaction with a journalist, international journalist, that was very concerned about one individual called General Power. There's this documentary that was being done, and I had an opportunity to be interviewed to get my perspective. There's another video circulating of his wife claiming that her children, his ex-wife, claiming that her children has been tortured by this individual or power. I saw you in a photo with him at some institution, and I became a little concerned. I don't know what was that even specifically, but have you heard anything about this man? Do you know anything about this individual, General Power, about him operating torture chamber in any other investigation from any international source on this individual?
No, I haven't heard about anything that you're saying, and I never met General Powell before. I do not know him, and I never met him in person. But what happens last week, in commemoration of the International Drug Week, we, after the press conference on the 26th, we thought to take the 27th as a day to reach out to rehab centers around Montserrat to identify with the efforts the guys are making. And so we have an office called Rehabilitation Officers. So we asked them and said, look, what are the homes that we can visit? And so Powers rehab center name came up. Joshua Milton Bly. There's one in Battery Factory, and then Senator DeLonge. And so we began our trip to Coast Guard base, and then you saw the video. We went to Powers' place where he has, I think, over 400 young people in that center. And all we did was to commend his effort and made the donation, move on to Battery Factory with this similar thing. We went to Joshua Milton Bly with this similar thing, and ended the day to Senator DeLonge. We thought that was a perfect way of celebrating the International Drug Week, to complement the efforts of people who are already ahead of us in rehabilitation. When I mean ahead of us, ahead of the government in making efforts to rehabilitate the young people and find ways to reintegrate them. So that was the objective. We didn't go beyond any other thing. In fact, it was the first time seeing General Powell in person.
Thanks for the clarification. On my second question, which I intend to be very quick, I watched the video. Watched some video about from the International Drug Day, and visibly absent from those videos were a couple of international partners. Is there a reason? Is there a reason for that?
Well, I wouldn't say. I know we reached out to some of the partners, and they had their own schedules conflicting with the day we set to celebrate. But you would some promise to show up at the burn day, and hopefully let's see what happens on Friday. If we're successful, the weather gives us the opportunity to have that. We hope to see some of the partners who've given their word that they will be present. I know INL wanted to be at the burn day, and UNODC wanted to be at the burn day, but at the press conference, they had challenge with the scheduling, so that's why they didn't come. And the partners, just to be open here, the partners will usually want to work with a more stable leadership than somebody in transition largely. But we've been in touch, and they've been showing some tremendous potential of coming back.
Christopher K. Peters, we want to say thank you for joining Spoon. Your bill will be in the mail. They will reach it to your office, your ORC office. I hope you got budget. But we want to say thank you.
No budget. I said we're looking for donation from you.
Listen, we'll get it to you. But thank you very much. You're always welcome. Listen, when you take Diamond's number, as long you will be the ORC, we always welcome you to call us. We'll be there to take you guys live. This is the People's Network, the People's Station, and try to make use of it. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you, Stanton. We will always be standing by and ready to provide any information regarding the DA while we're still there until the president decides what he wants to do with the institution. So thank you. And again, I'd like to clarify that we do not carry a weapon. We have a relationship with the LMP. If we need anything involving the intervention of a weapon, the LMP.
You don't carry a weapon, but you carry a knife. right?
No, we've issued no knife either. The government has.
Yeah,
the
but
government
one of the guys used to stab the gentleman.
So again, let me clarify. There are accounts. There are accounts that he was injured by a steel rod planted in where he fell in an attempt to run away from the officer. And there another account that the guys allegedly stabbed him. So this is why the LMP is investigating. Stanton, trust me, if our people are responsible for the death of Yeyu, they will be held responsible. We can assure you. We've been transparent.
Come back. There's other answers, other
Thank
questions.
You're going to come back. We want to say thank you. Always come back. I think we'll host you next week again. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. We want to say thanks to producer. Thanks to the team. And we're going to bring in Winfred Russell. And look, Winfred, Chief of Staff, said different thing, and we said different thing. Let's see if we can bring them in. Are they in the back, though? Can we squeeze them in, Diamond? We have to finish the show, and I think they want us to call some group in. Oh, Winfred is in the bag. He better send Charlie King time. the next congressman. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Always a wonderful experience and wonderful time to be here with you all on Spoon TV. So thanks for having me.
You're always welcome, man. We got a jam show. We cannot finish up, but we have to bring you in, and don't make this a one-stop area. If you like, we can bring you on Saturday, which we have enough time. We can clear our schedule and bring in your team. But we had a schedule trending issue with the death of the young man, of course.
Okay.
We saw record on. We had to address that, but you're always welcome. Where are we with your campaign? Where are we with your team? I see that Kamati is in the back, or Sude, all ready to talk. But let's give it to you, man. It's all yours, right, for Russell. It's all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Stanton, again. Where we are now, early voting has started. I mean, early voting has started all over the country. Where it started here in Brooklyn Park. So what we are doing is that we're trying to encourage everyone to show up to vote for Winfred Russell at the Brooklyn Park City Hall. So the early voting, you can vote. So we have from now until August 12th, so about a month of early voting that folks can go in and vote early, especially if you are busy and you have to work. So we try to encourage everyone to just get in there and get it over with, and get it over with. So you can either vote at the Brooklyn Park City Hall or the RCO City Hall from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. You can vote early, and so that's where we are. We are going from door to door. We have about 27,000 doors to knock between now and August 13th. So we're just knocking one door at a time.
So the election day is when?
The primary election day is August the 13th. But now in Minnesota, you can vote early. So many of our people who are busy on the clock, always working, we are encouraging them to go in and vote early at the city hall.
You want them to vote now. You want to lock in your vote now.
Yeah.
What transportation? Are you providing transportation to pick folks up and take them, vote, go back, vote, go home, vote, go down to Waterside, buy your food, you're on your way to shopping to the mall, go and drop your vote? I mean, talk to us about these different things you're planning for them.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Yeah, you're right about that. So we assemble sometimes to gather people at the Waterside Market off Brooklyn Boulevard in Brooklyn Park. We get folks there, we pick them up and take them out to vote and help them, especially those who are not very familiar with the language or the system. So we have people who can take them in, volunteers who will take them in and help them to vote. We're also picking up people at the Organization of Librarians in Minnesota, the community head office. We are picking people up. Or if you can't get to those places, we just give us a call. I can share the number. The number is 612.
put it up. Let me put it up because it'll
Okay.
be better than to call somebody and say, listen, one Friday I can't get it. I want to go there. I need a ride, and you can send Uber for that person in and out. And I know it is important also to know that Uber will pick you up and take you to the voting station. You vote, you go home. If you're on your way to Waterside, just go ahead. While you go buy your food, just stop, vote. It just how long the whole process is, Winfrey, before I bring the guys in. Are you going to take my whole day? It's just few minutes. I will talk to me.
No, it's less. It's less than 30 minutes. And the good thing about the system we have here in Minnesota is that you can register and vote the same day. So, and this is where people go to get their driver's licenses or their tab for their car. So when you go in there to pay your utility bill or get the tab for your car, you can just vote. And you just need either your driver's license or just a bill. So if you have a bill, say from the electric company or the gas company or any utility bill or your cell phone bill, you can use that to vote. So in Minnesota, we don't have voter registration card. There's no voter registration card that we use to vote. So you just show up. It's a trust-based system. You show up with your ID and you can vote. So it doesn't take more than 30 minutes. If you are registered already, it doesn't take you good 5 minutes. There's no line. There's nothing. You can just pop in and pop out.
So let me bring in all guys. Dr. Richardson, Paul Kennedy, Dr. Boplat, Asad Doe, Fadiga. Fadiga have to come back and vote, right? You really need that one vote from Fadiga, right?
Yeah. But we definitely need the vote from Fadiga. I need your vote now. You know that already now. You always been my guy now. You always been supporting me, so I know I can count on you. Because don't forget now, this is the opportunity Fadiga for us to do that radio station. You remember that, though, right? That is still on the table, brother. It is still on the table. The Somalis have a radio and television station. The Ethiopians have a radio and television station. Yeah, we definitely need to have ours.
But actually, don't talk to us. You are in Minnesota. We'll bring you in, Isaac. I don't know whether Dr. Richardson, you coming in. I just want to tease Isaac a little bit. I don't know whether you came purposely to vote for Winspear Russell and go back and support CDC. We'll come there. But Dr. Richardson, you go ahead first. I heard that Isaac came purposely to cast a vote for Mr. Russell. That's good. Dr. Richardson?
Yes. Mr. Russell, it's great having you on Spoon today. I want to just
Mr. Russell, for real, Mr. Russell. You got to Mr. Russell?
let me get there. Okay. I appreciate you on Spoon, and also I appreciate everything that you're doing for the Liberian community in Minnesota. It's not easy, running for an elected position, especially when you're an immigrant in this country. For the sake of transparency, I want you guys to know that's why he's teasing Mr. Russell. I'm actually related to Winfrey Russell, but I wanted to just put our relationship aside and just talk about your qualification. What makes representation important? The representation of an immigrant, the representation of a Liberian person in the State House in Minnesota. So can you please just speak about why is representation or Liberian representation so important in a community where Liberians make up a good size of the population?
Yes, thanks, Doc. We do make up a significant portion of the population here, especially in Brooklyn Park. Now, you have to live in Brooklyn Park to vote. And so the city of Brooklyn Park and the city of Osseo, you have to live in these two cities to vote. So if you don't live in Brooklyn Park, like you, Dr. Richardson or Stanton, or all of the panelists, or most of the panelists here, you know people here in Brooklyn Park and what you all are doing, what Spoon TV is doing. They can mobilize people to come into the vote. But I serve on the Brooklyn Park City Council. I was the first Black person ever elected in the city of Brooklyn Park. We are the 5th largest city in the state of Minnesota. And we were able to have representation at the table. We also had a Liberian who was in Brooklyn Center as the mayor next door, but Brooklyn Park is a much bigger city than Brooklyn Center. So I come with 20 years plus experience living in the district, serving on the council, serving on the planning commission, serving on the library board, the Human Rights Commission. I founded a nonprofit organization a year called ACER. It's now a thriving organization providing services to people in the community, to all applicants and all of that in the community. So I've been here, Dr. Richardson. I pay my dues. And unlike my opponent, who just moved from California first to Brooklyn Center to run for the Senate, and then she moved from Brooklyn Center to Brooklyn Park when she heard the seat was becoming available. I've been here. I've been here paying my dues, serving the people of Brooklyn Park, and that's why the people trust me, and the people would like me to show up to provide them representation, because experience matters. It matters when you have experience, and it matters to have representation, at the table. When we're about 50,000 plus Liberians here, for example, we don't have any representation in this entire state. So it is important that we show up, but not only show up and give us the blessings. All of those are important, but we have to show up to vote. We have to show up to vote. We have to go in, vote early if we're going to be busy, and we have to travel. We have to show up to vote, because we have to be at the table where critical decisions are made. And it's not just, yes, my constituents are here. I'm accountable to my constituents here, and they're across the board, not just Liberian, but a very diverse group of folks. If you saw the people who are coming on the show today, the team who are coming on the show, very diverse group of folks. But this is also a good thing for the country. Many politicians who come here. Gregory was just on there with you all. We are working very closely with Gregory, leveraging our connection to provide some resources and training opportunities for the Liberian National Police, for example. So there are a lot of other things that we've done with the fire service and all of that, and those things are only going to increase once we get get in the legislature and get at a higher level. So that is why it's important, and is and it's incumbent upon all of us to support this candidacy. I'm just the vessel through which we are going to get access to resources and access to the power. People calling from Kakata, from Torota, from all over where I visit, usually when I've been Liberia, I have roots there too as well, because we've been working with the city of Kakata and all of that. So this is a community thing, and so that's why I applaud and appreciate Spoon for stepping forward to do this for us and promote our candidacy and mobilize folks. You all did that during the caucuses. You did that again during the convention. And now the primary election is here, it's upon us, and you all are doing it now. So that's why it is imperative and critically important that we have a seat at the table, but someone who has the experience, and Winfred Russell has the experience to deliver for this community.
Yes, and my second thought is just a comment. I want to encourage all of you, be it Liberian or non-Liberian, to please go out and vote for Mr. Russell. As you see, he spoke about how important representation is. When you are represented, you are connected. And when you are connected, you get to know the rules and the laws and the policies that apply to you as a person. You can live in America for umpteen years and don't know. And you don't know what's happening in your community. But once you have someone that you can at least pick up the phone and call, or somebody who can bring the information to you as a person, as a group of people, that is so important. So I'm sure when Mr. Russell is elected, he will speak on behalf of our community and also on behalf of all of the rights of people in the United States. So please go out there, my people. I beg you, please go out there and vote for Mr. Russell. At least let us have representation at the table. We've been in the United States too long, and we have had a connection with the United States for so long for Liberia not to be represented.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. We got Bernard Chen, and we got Kamate Dion. It's good to have all of you. Let me bring in Paul Kennedy. Can we do this one question or comment? And then we got to take a few calls to hear from the people of Minnesota, Brooklyn Park. The number is up. If you need a ride or Uber ride, any ride you need to go cast your vote, call this number. You will be taken care of to go and cast your vote on behalf of Mr. Russell. Again, we can announce if all is well, they will be back on Saturday for us to knock door. We did this before. So whenever Russell and his team come on the show, we hope you guys can come early. We know we have our time different, Mr. Russell, but it will be good for us to knock door by placing, doing a telemarketing something. When Paul Kennedy first came to America, he was getting $6.50 to work as a telemarketer. And he did well, so he know how to do this thing. He know how to do this business. Well,
Stand on. If you don't leave lying, something will happen to you. But Mr. Russell, it's really nice having you on the platform. I think we've had the opportunity of meeting once when I was visiting Minnesota. We have a common friend here in Maryland, and I've seen some of the work you've done, through your community outreach and your civic engagement. Unfortunately, I live in Maryland. I mean, I wish we could mobilize all the voters here and put them in a truck and bring them to Minnesota. We'll bring voter trucking here. I'm an expert for that, but I will literally, wish you all the best. I wouldn't have any question for you. I know what it means to have a group of people who need representation, because I always tell people, when you don't have someone sitting at the policy table to help be a part of that law or the policy that is made, it's always going to be made against you, always. So you need one of your own to be sitting there, trying the most they can do to seek your interest. I've been a lot of time in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Park. I've seen Liberians walking everywhere in the street. Police people pull you over, they carry you. Sometimes it's nobody to speak on your behalf. So I think you are sacrificing a lot. I just hope that this will work out well for you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Senator, very quickly, I can say too that I know many of you, like we said, many of you are not here. I mean, especially those who listening to us. But there are other ways you can contribute to the campaign. We have a Cash App. You can make a donation. Campaign is a very expensive enterprise, so we would love to have your donation, Mr. Kennedy.
I wish you luck. The man got fired.
I was on mute.
Grisman fired the man. Grisman fired the man 3 days ago.
Let me finish talking.
Grisman fired the man 3 days ago. He has no job. He's unemployed.
I have family in Minnesota. I need to call to figure out whether they're in Brooklyn Park or in the city where they are eligible to vote.
Thank you.
We'll also reach out to a couple of our friends who are there. And we make some calls around. I think whatever way we can support the process, we're going to definitely do that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So the financial contribution, you skip that.
You put the number up so we can call the talk that off channel.
The guy said the next senator of Buffalo is a politician. He just go ahead, Fatika.
A lot of you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. I've known Mr. Russell for years. We've been around the city politics. That's our town. We know how it's run. What I admired about Wilfred, he doesn't give up. He's been around. Oh, Kamate, let me say hi to Kamate too. I haven't seen you forever. It seemed like the great taking over your beer, but we'll talk later after the show. Yeah, he's been around. This is how you grow. And, you follow the chain, and there's no doubt in my mind that he will make he will serve Minnesota well. I'm not in the country now, but honestly, I will do everything to come back to see how we can mobilize in the next couple of days. I just got 1 or 2 things to take care of here. I already intended to be back. So hopefully you should see me there, and then we'll mobilize. But I know we can do it. I saw it with Mike Elliott. I saw it with you. I saw how we mobilized. I saw how we can really get things done. And one thing I want us to realize, the Somalis brought Ihan Khan, and a lot of us we started walking this road before a lot of those other immigrants came to Liberia. I know he's not going to be the representative of only Liberians, but sometimes we've been around this area for too long to not have someone that look like us, that reflect our demographic in this thing too. And I know that he will serve well in our place. So for some of my supporters there, all of my supporters out there, I say give your support to him. My family I have back there, I will be there too in the next couple of days. Let's make this happen. For too long, we have made other people giving other people this opportunity. It's time to give our own, and I trust Mr. Russell will be he will serve us well.
Thank you, my brother.
And you still owe me my radio station. All right, let me just tell you this whole radio station thing. I know it. So that was when you were when you were running for city council, right?
Yeah.
So only demand, but then we had this Radio Africa big there. So I said, well, my only demand for you is we need that station, but then things happen. I had to move up north. Things happen, but I still that dream is still there. We still need to hear our African music, Liberian music on the radio, like the Somalis, the Hispanic.
They all have the Hmong.
Sorry, not to get involved, but what stopped the idea though? What stopped the idea?
A lot of things happen. I moved basically when I closed the radio down. A couple of things happened. I closed the radio down. Then I had a job that took me way up north in Chisholm, Minnesota. So
you're in Chisholm, really?
Yeah, I was in Chisholm. So when I moved to Chisholm, that whole dream, but it was something that was the only demand, and he said he was going to do it, and I know he would have done it if I had stayed.
Well, but you know, the opportunity to do a Stanton is at this level. At the city council level, you don't have access to the kind of resources you have at the next level, where you can write it, where you can put a legislation together to support that and pay for that directly. I mean, like you're talking, $3, $4, $5 million that you can write into a bill. So it's different from the city council level. The city council doesn't have that kind of resources that you can have access to at the next level.
You got a lot of millionaires over there. Those are I met some of them, good guys, great guys. I mean, from the Liberian community, we can raise our own money and have our
you can do that too. But I mean, if the other people are getting funded, the same tax dollars we'll pay.
The money will come later, but anyway, it's good politics, good spin you put into it. That's what you need. How's it do?
Yeah, Mr. Russell, how you doing? I know I'm not in Brooklyn Park to vote for you, but I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully we have our friends over there who will do as we can do on our end and help the process forward. The fact that you are a Liberian, it helps all of us. So I want to wish you all of the best, and I should be in Brooklyn Park this weekend, and a lot of friends, a lot of people we got there. Hopefully we will also put the little efforts that we can to ensure whatever help we can give it to you. But all of the best.
Thank you.
How far? Well, where are you, Isaac? Where in Minnesota you are?
I'm in Liberia, actually.
No, you're not. Isaac, where in Minnesota you are, please?
I'm in St. Paul.
Oh, you're in St. Paul.
In the capital city.
Okay. All right. Mr. Boblet, Dr. Boblet.
Winfred, good to see you again, my friend. And
nice to see you, Doc.
Man, I applaud you. I tell you, I admire your stick-to-itness. You stand on deep convictions and you go after what's important. So I applaud you for that. And of course, I'm rooting for you. And I can't vote for you because I'm in my Gibi. I only got a Liberian. I only got a Liberian vote.
Well, you
but
are a stakeholder because you know Brooklyn Park, the area that that will be
well,
represented. We have a
well,
sister city relationship.
I know plenty of people there now, and I was saying my little 100 LD from here to
All
help
right,
with the.
thank
I
you.
got some places. Well, let me ask you though. Let me ask you. In the past, there's been challenges, even within our community, and I know Dr. Richardson had hinted about the importance of us sticking together. Other people have done it and done it well, right there in Minnesota, and it's important that as Liberians, we come together and be fully represented, support our own, and make history. So what's different this time in terms of pulling the community together, community, the Liberian community? Do you feel better this go around that you built enough coalition within the Liberian community and have garnered enough support? How you feel
Yes,
about that forward?
no, I feel very great about that. I mean, we've reached out, we've engaged all of the different subgroups within the Liberian immigrant community, within the West African immigrant community, within the larger community. So if you look at, for example, I mean, we are reaching out to beyond the Liberian community. Yes, of course, that's my base, Liberians and then West Africans. But I'm also reaching out to other racial demographic groups. You see on the show here with us today, we have Mr. Bernard Stanton just announcing. Bernard is actually from East Africa. He's a Kenyan, and the lady who's running against me is a Kenyan. But to show you that our message is resonating not just only with West Africans or Liberians, but with a very diverse group of folks because of the work that we've done over the years. It cut across the Liberian or the West African community, so it's hitting all of the different community groups and and all of that. So that's the approach that we are taking now. The approach of yes, we have our base here, but we're also going out to other groups, to other larger group, and bringing them on board as well.
Thank you, man. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from Kamati. My man, welcome to the show, man. Talk to us. How you selling your Kennedy? How's things so far, though?
Thank you very much, Steno, and all of you. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to this medium. When we started this thing first, even to do the caucuses, you will now understand the power of this Spoon media outlet and other organization. I mean, there are a lot of people that did not hear about us. They say, "Oh, we saw you on Spoon TV." For the very first time, our community turnout to the caucus was overwhelmed. For that, I want to tell you thank you. The second thing goes to us going for the convention. When we went for the convention, we mobilized again. You guys was the medium that we used to disseminate the information all over. People from all over Minnesota that have not heard about the campaign, what we were doing, they all came. When we have the convention, we went for the first round. Our opponent won. So you needed 60% to have an endorsement from the Democratic Party. So I told Winfred that, listen, we should go for round 2 vote. Because if we leave from here like this, and there is a lead above us, they are leaving with the momentum. But if we leave from here with the lead, those are our people that are on the fence will know that the train has really picked up from the station. It was a risk we were taking. I talked to the campaign chair. She also agreed. Other people were doubting it, and I put my neck on it, and we said we're going to do it. Pastor Cole came. He said, "Kamati, that risk you taking," and say, "Left is all about risk." We did it, and we won the second round. So then we left the convention with the momentum that we win. So on 2 different trials, we've won. And this can be attributed to all of your work you've done at Spoon TV and all of the panelists that have come. For that, I want to say thank you. Now, the state of our affair is strong. There had never been an urgency in our community that we need to rally our people than now. If we never think Liberia, if we never think nationalistically or patriotically, it's about the time. We can only lose this election if we choose to lose it. I say this to say that the person we are succeeding have been in the seat for over 20 some more years. We have only two candidates. We have a Liberian that have lived in this district and worked in this district for over 20 years, that has supported all the issue of our community. On his leadership on the city council, OLM as a community organization received the largest grant from the city of Brooklyn Park. So whether it was during the pandemic, when we had the food distribution, whether it was our workforce development program where we gave scholarship to people to learn to become CNA and TMA, all of those fundings came from the city of Brooklyn Park, and we have Russell on the city council. He voted for all of those fundings. He might not necessarily come to you and know you on a personal level, but his impact and his work have benefited us collectively as a community. So, what do we have at hand right now? We have a Liberian in the community that is predominant in the constituent district, that predominantly Liberian, that have lived and worked in a district for 20 some years. And we have the alternative, is our Kenyan sister who have moved in this district to contest that seat. Now, how does Winfred Russell election impact us, our community, and our generation to come? When Winfred Russell, representing the Liberian community, become a council member, my son can see and know that it's possible. Your daughter can see and know that it's possible. Your nephew can see and know that it's possible. Then we become to expand. Barack Obama became president of America by the work of Martin Luther King. But today, every black child in America have to believe that it's possible. We've lived in this community as a community organization for over 48 years. We do not have access to City Hall, to the state capitol. We've ran through the state capitol for a bill. We have to go through our brothers and sisters in the Somalian community who are lawmakers to seek our interest. Mind you, they immigrated to the United States after 1992 Federal ID War. Liberians, the country Liberia was formed by free slaves that returned back to it. We have over 200 years of relationship. We have 48 years of a community organization, and we cannot account for one state representative. It is on all of us as Liberians to sit back and think, this is a golden opportunity. Let us grab the bull by the horn. Let's make this a reality. Let us not fantasize about it. Again, I don't normally come on Spoon TV and these public outlets to say, but it has become very, very important. It is as though our life depends on it. We have to, at all costs, put everything we have on the line and make sure. Let me sum it up by saying this. For the last 4 months, I have been to state capitol trying to lobby for a bill for the Liberian community. 2 bills, as a matter of fact. And I will not call names. The one Somali lawmakers put me aside and said, Kamati, said, what I'm about to tell you, I hope you don't feel offended. I said, no, I wouldn't. She said, I listened to your testimony and all that you say. You know that English is our second language? I say, I know. English is your first language? I say, I know. She said, do you know that if Liberia was located within 100 square miles of the United States, it could likely be a protectorate like Guam or Puerto Rico? I say, yes. As she said, do you know that one of our council members, one of our what your representative, worked with your former president, Wilfred Harris? I say, yes. He said, you know that George Wood used to teach one of our schools here. He said, when we came here, we depended on the Liberian community as our brothers to interpret for us. But after 1992, 93, we started to come. Today, we have 5 elected state representatives. We have 2 elected state senators. We have 1 United States representative. We have a city mayor. Kamati, if you have 1 Liberian that is in the state capital, the bill that you're pushing, that Liberian will take it and carry to his colleague. How is it that we can say and look in one another's face? These people in their community, they have different tribal group. But when it comes to the national interest, all of those are put aside and the focus become razor sharp and they look at it as a Somalian thing. At what point in time do we as Liberians? Yeah,
we appreciate it, Sam. I know you are. Yes, you are.
I'm so passionate.
We want to say it again. We will give you guys a network. I want to say thank you, and we give God the glory actually for the network, what they are doing. We want to say to you and our brother Bernard Ochian. Etisen, oh, you're from Kenya. You're not from Ghana, so I can say Etisen. But I would say, I think I know what to say in Kenya. The hello in Kenya, I should remember, but I will come back to it. Russell, are we saying that you guys coming back on Saturday?
Yeah, we'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back on Saturday.
You can have the whole Saturday. Then we can clear the schedule, and then we can take calls and knock doors by way of this phone in part. So it's good to have you guys. We want to end the show because the next segment will be coming up shortly. But want to say to you, you are always welcome. Again, after you win, we'll put all your bills together and send it to you. But right now,
but I mean that's we can from Bernard a little bit before we.
I have to run. I gotta go to Bible study, so I just say that I have to run, and I'll pray for. I'll pray for you.
Pray for us, Stanton. Please
pray for us.
I really don't know whether God will answer my prayer, but I will try.
No, you will answer it. Coming from you will answer it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
So I'll just give Mr. Parnell Chan a minute to just talk, and then we can go to closing the show. Okay?
Okay. Well, thank you all for inviting me to the show. It's nice seeing the familiar faces as well as those who I haven't met. As it's been alluded to, I'm from Kenya and I've been in the United States for a little over 20 years, in Minnesota since 2016. I met Russell as a matter of chance. I'm a cyclist, I'm an avid cyclist, and I happened to go to the Oak Grove Park. I think we were scouting to do some workout, and I saw him with a bicycle, and I went and spoke to him, and since then we've become friends. We've done the community rides together. But more importantly, at some point, I went through some issues with immigration. It was very dire that I was considering moving back home. But Russell was encouraging. He was able to connect me with some resources that I was able to consult with, and I was able to get the direction that I needed. So for that, I've been very appreciative of him. But more importantly, you can all see with all the decisions that are being made by the Supreme Court, especially regarding immigration. I read an article about if Trump comes back into office, there are certain things his administration is proposing. For example, doing away with parole. Parole means they would probably not give travel documents to certain qualifying people at the moment and things like that. And the reason I bring this up is because having somebody like Russell in St. Paul will provide a foundation to prevent such things from happening. I believe the Supreme Court, the way it is constituted at the moment, is because Democrats have not been showing up to the polls, especially in the lower these elections. It is imperative, not just for the Liberian community, but for every Democrat out there and immigrants to show up at the polls, show our power so that we can provide direction to policy in this country. If we continue to do what we are doing, I'm afraid there are certain rights that are citizens and even permanent residents will be easily taken away just by the stroke of a pen. So I'm encouraging a lot of people to go out and vote. I don't live in Brooklyn Park. I moved away in 2021. However, I make that trip every so often to door knock and to sensitize people on the importance of showing up for this election. I still have a few Kenyan friends in Brooklyn Park whom have encouraged to vote for Russell. And I'm very, very confident they are going to show up. They won't say it loudly, but I'm sure they're going to show up for him because of the kind of person he is. So I'm going to continue pushing for Russell to make it to St. Paul and hoping to see you guys out there door knocking and spreading the word about this election. Thank you all very much. And I'm encouraged by the participation and the activism and the enthusiasm all of you have shown.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
being
Bernard. Yeah.
Chen. Thank you for your patience as well. I saw you waiting in the back for a while. Why don't we move to closing? We'll let Mr. Russell just do his last words to us, and then we'll just, Mr. Kamadi, just please do your last word very briefly, and then we'll go to Paul Kennedy, and then Mr. and Dr. Bartlett will take us home.
Thank you. And once again, thanks to you all and everyone out there listening to us. I'd like to say we are very grateful to be here, that you could be here with us. As Stanton said, we will be back on Saturday. We'll have other members of the team, the campaign manager and others will probably be on Saturday. So please come back on Saturday. But more importantly, please tell your friends and your neighbors to go to Brooklyn Park City Hall on 85th Avenue. You can vote now. You can vote early from now until Monday, August the 12th. Please vote Winfred Russell for Minnesota House of Representatives. You have to live in Brooklyn Park and ask you to vote. So we are counting on you and we are appealing to you to please show up to vote. If you can't vote, like I told Paul, you can please make a donation, a financial donation to the campaign because we need it. We need to get our message out. I think Stanton put our Cash App number out there, and so we look forward to hearing from you all again. Thanks, Doc, and everybody. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Paul Kennedy. Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good show, and I think we are good having Mr. Russell and his team, and even the other colleagues from Kenya who is showing the African solidarity. I was on Capitol Hill 2 weeks ago, to the Caribbean Legislative Forum, and one thing I saw missing is that we do not have that African cohesiveness on Capitol Hill, which is dropping a lot of the policies that we should be pushing here in the U.S. That other nationalities who are immigrants here get. So I think we should start with the little steps by making sure we are directly represented by one of our kind, in the various municipality and even the local counties and district, representation. So I thought it was a good show. I mean, I was looking forward to hearing issue on the House of Rep Liberian folks who are riding in kekes with their tag. They are in gross violation of 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 the Liberian law. You are not supposed to, have different license plate registered to your car and then you move it on different vehicle. When you register your vehicle, the vehicle is registered in the name of a particular make and model of a car. So when you move that tag from there to put it on a different vehicle and you apply the street, you are in violation of the Liberian law. And I don't think the lawmakers who are making the laws in our country are above the law. I'm really looking forward for us to discuss that. You heard the chief of police just said they needed $5 million for their operation. The Liberian Senate alone, the vehicles purchased for the 30 folks for 9 years is almost 5 million. So I think the Liberian government should begin to look how we can apportion and reappropriate money so that money is working for the people and not against them. So I like Spoon because we have our views here, and other people who are listening. Sometimes will show lights on things. So I'm really glad and happy to be a part.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kamadi, you want to go, and then Mr. Barbara will take us home. Dr. Barbara will take us home. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. And thank you, Mr. Kennedy, Dr. Brobler. My dear brother Bernard. All right, thank you. And I appreciate that you with all in this fight. But to wrap it up is that this is my fellow Liberians. I'm talking to you all over the world. I'm talking to you as the community leader. I'm talking to you as a fellow Liberian. We need a seat at a table. We can't continue to be a menu. Our population, our relationship, our existence in this community cannot be overlooked. We have a choice today. Never before in our history, never before in the existence of the Liberian community, have we been in a dire need to have a seat at the table. We just almost at the very brink. The choice is ours. We might not have this opportunity anymore. Where do we tell our children and our children's children? What have we preserved and safeguard for them? Let's put aside the personal disagreement and challenges. Let's think big and collectively as a community, as a people, and fight to get what we deserve. The impact we have in the state community is about $2 billion. Economy is about $2 billion. For 48 years, we have not had any appropriation because we do not have anybody at the state capital to represent our interest. We are at the verge of making that a reality. Will you be part of the history making, or will you sit back and fold your hands? I'm clear with my conscience. I'm doing my part. Are you doing your part? Let's do this and make it a reality. Thank you very much.
When are you running for office again?
I am not.
I saw a speech preparing for a speech going on. Dr. Barbara, you want to take us home?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
So, Doc. So, Kamadi, I tell you, I appreciate your passion, your enthusiasm. It's good for the campaign. I'm sure you're complimenting that with some good strategy and some good fundraising, because all of that together will help get Winfrey over the finish line. So, like I say, I will send you my few Liberian dollars.
I
They'll
appreciate
change it in Minnesota. You'll get small money to help with the campaign. But I'll be wishing you well.
Thank you very much.
Doc Richardson, I am very I'm glad we had IG on tonight. We didn't have enough time with him, at least I didn't, because I wanted to push that whole police presence thing. some time ago, he came on the show and he said the plan was to have 12,000 police in Liberia. That was what they needed, but they only had 8,000. And I asked him then, what was the plan to get the other 4,000? And he said it was resource challenges. But public safety is national security. And I really think we have to accelerate our efforts to make sure there's sufficient policing, not just in Monrovia, where most of them are concentrated, but all across the country. And also, I hope that in the near future we can have a show on sanitation. Our efforts to move this nation forward will be seriously and continuously hampered if we don't attack sanitation and make it a national priority. People have to throw their trash somewhere. Everywhere people living, there will be trash. And I'm telling you, trash is everywhere. So we have to find a way to address it. There are ways to do so. I just hope we make it a national priority, and I hope we can have a show in the near future that will show some insight and on that particular national issue. Thanks for all our viewers tonight. Of course, to my esteemed panelists and to our guests for all the good things you do. May God bless your efforts and multiply all of the good things that you need in your lives. Thank you for tonight. It's always great to be on the show.
Thank you. So long, everybody. Producer Nelson or Diamond, you guys want to come on? Please vote for Winford Russell. Thank you. Diamond, it's all yours now. Take it over.
I'm a good to see you. Good night.
Good night to you. It's been a good show. I would love to leave with this video, this excerpt. Nelson is going to come on with late night politics. The panelists have already told the viewers. Thank you for watching, and we'll leave you with this.
The refuse, you mean the House of Representatives refused to get you car? And about to be why get this morning? The government has refused to give us our benefit. You mean the government refused? Yes, the government. So that this is another number. Another number. Why can get this money? What happened to your car? Not to the Liberian people. Okay. That President Parker is in error. You won't get certain lawmaker at the lower house misbehaving on the lawmaker. Is that why you ran again? Of course. Because President Parker get a plate, he now get a vehicle. So the past 3 months, how we going to go to our constituents? Wow. All the senators receiving a benefit. So call back. I know we're going to go back. Let me go to the game.